We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years, approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a third grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, I mean, since I haven't spoken on this, got a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 out of 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. And this is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. Good evening on the West Coast. Good evening in the mountain. Good evening in the Central. Good evening on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Reparationist Perspective, bringing you those Freedmen hot topics and making the case for reparations, making the case for weaponizing our votes, socializing our suffering. I thank you one and all for returning. I'm not actually going to do part 2 of tonight's broadcast until tomorrow evening, but you guys have missed some rich Twitter spaces, and I want to memorialize them on my ScrewTube channel, in my Racebook, in my Twitter space. So I'm streaming through StreamYard, and what I'm doing is starting at the top of last week when I joined Twitter Space for the very first time. So you won't see me on camera. You're going to see my Twitter Space, and you guys are just going to be blown away at how rich that space was. You'll get to see me get my Twitter Space legs. You'll hear me struggling through. But we got through the first and the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth day. We had a rich, rich week, and I want to bring you what went down in those spaces. All of it is to make the case for reparations and the weaponization of our vote and the socialization of our suffering. Because when the Democrats have a trifecta, we are the only ones as American freedmen in distress while they give away our reparations and protections. So every episode, as always, for the past,
I've been here since November 2019. I'm going to always be on topic I'm weaponizing current events to make the case for reparations and why we need to invoke the Freedmen voter strategy of closed border and reparations candidates. Party be damned. Let me help you understand something. If you stay home, you are leaving the fate of our lineage in the hands of immigrants who seek to replace us and POC white supremacists who hate us all the way down to their baby toe. And you ain't got no tangibles coming. If you can't see that by now, I don't know what to tell you. If you cannot see in everything that continues to go on, that it's leveled against American freedmen and how the Democrats lie and the repugnant clans don't owe us, then I don't know where you've been. And I'm not able to help you see now if you can't see it by now. So given that we're not, you have to understand something, family. We don't get tangibles until we bring the Democrats to their knees for several election cycles. I'm not talking about vote this midterm for closed border Congress and get back to voting blue. I'm trying to help you understand that voting blue, no matter damn who, has been to our people's peril. No one else. American freedmen exclusively. And so without further ado, let me cue up the Twitter space from day one last Monday, a week ago Monday. You guys feel free to place your comments in the chat. I'm going to be listening in the background as I'm getting some other work done. This was a 3-hour space. I don't think y'all can hang on that long, but you can always come back and listen to it if you fall asleep, okay? Thank you so much. I'm going to try to do one of these a day because over in Twitter space, it has a small window that your recordings are going to be available. So I want to make sure I get all my recordings memorialized over in this space. Thank you so much for joining the live. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. I thank you so very, very much for being here, one and all. And if you feel so compelled to bless the broadcast, that's Cash App $TRPTV. Also, we must continue to donate to Congressman, our future reparations Congressman, Greg Marcel Dixon. He is still running, family. You have to put those payments on recurring, no matter how big or small. Every aggregated dollars helps to get him what he needs to be a contender. Also, what you're paying for when you contribute to his campaign is for his voice to be the boot on the jugular of the Democrat and the Repugnant Klan party in demand of our reparations. You know, he gets the job done whenever he blesses the mic, honey. You know he's going to turn the mother sucker out. And so know that your campaign dollars help him to keep reparations at the forefront. Because as you see, they're trying to bury our justice claim with immigration. And I will be making the case throughout these videos of the space from last week that you guys weren't privy to because ScrewTube shut me down for an entire month over bullshiggity. They're shadow banning me too. So I need you guys to help me make these messages go viral so we can find like-minded, like-spirited, like-revolutionary comrades in this movement that are ready to disrupt the status quo and actually have the backbone and the cojones of our ancestors who were tired of talking, who were tired of pleading, who were tired of begging, and they defected from the Repugnant Klan party over to the Democratic Party for civil rights. So I'm looking for those, and that takes a lot. It's an uphill battle. Nobody really wants to hear my revolutionary Freedmen voter strategy. But like I said, if we continue at the rate we're going to be as few in number as the Indians. So without further ado, let me cue up Twitter space from last Monday, a week ago, where I'm making the case for Freedmen reparations and the weaponization of our votes. Stand by, family. Thank you for joining. C868, can you hear me? Oh, Lord, I'm new to this, fam. Oh, Lord.
Okay, we're going to try to give it a couple of minutes. Honey, I am a screw tube kind of sister. Hi, DJ Segwa. Okay, I see request. Requested too. Okay, let me see. How do I? Oh, approve and
Y'all hear me
approve.
struggling?
Look at me cooking with gas. I love
you
it.
too, Vicky. I miss all
Yes,
y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank you for being with me. I'm laughing at
Oh my
myself,
God.
y'all.
Hey, DJ, mute your mic real quick, my boy.
Oh, y'all, bear with
Thank
me.
you,
We
brother.
get
Hey,
just
hey, sis,
hold on. We gonna get through
Yes.
this rough
what you
patch,
call
y'all.
it?
Hold
If you
on.
tap my profile picture, you can say make me the co-host like that, okay?
Okay, let me do that now. Invite to co-host. I see it. Send co-host invite. Oh, I'm
Right.
cooking with gas now, y'all. I think I am too much.
It sounds like you cooking for real in the kitchen. What you making right now? I know you about to get up here and cook for us, but you know.
Oh,
might have
honey.
some real food for a brother. You know what I'm saying?
You know, it's about to be lit over here. Even if it's just the four of us, it's about to be lit. I'm going in. Hi,
Hey, everybody.
Freedmen.
Hey, everybody, just share the room out real quick, okay?
Huh?
Now, share the room out, y'all. Share the room out.
Family, it'll smooth
Okay,
out in
me
a
too.
second, I promise. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
let people know that you're in here. Tweet it out. Tweet it
Let
out.
me see if I can fast forward.
Okay,
That's such a rough patch.
Does
Hold
that
on,
mean
y'all.
when I say share, it says copy link? Is that what I do?
Yeah.
And here to make the case for why we need to weaponize the vote. And I'm going to summarize, after I do these articles that help me to make that case. Okay. So a recent article, and I'll tell you where I'm reading from. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but at least you can go back and read it for yourself. Now, this is an MSN article that's dealing with the highest rates of Black unemployment. It's nearly 100% higher than whites. So that's an MSN article that you can read in full. But let me get it going, y'all. Thank you for being here. And please, even though I am shut down from being able to do my broadcast live on ScrewTube, we're very close to 1,000 subs, even though they've shut me down for a little while. So I would love it if you would still like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications, because they claim I'll get to go live again in 4 days, and that's where I'm most comfortable, although I'm very thrilled to be over here trying out my own Twitter space right now. And I thank you, DJ Segwan, for helping to co-host the room. And definitely you guys will get to weigh in, okay? I want to talk about the employment. Black unemployment nearly 100% higher than whites. Now, I'm going to be weighing the way I see it in between what I read, okay? So just so you know, that's how I do things over in ScrewTube. I'm going to do that here. So please keep a notepad so you don't lose your thoughts, okay? Because I do want you to weigh in. This is the employment situation just last month. The most important information is that the jobless rate fell to 3.5% as the economy added 528,000 jobs. The over 20 million jobs lost in the COVID-19 driven recession have been entirely replaced, and the jobless rate is back where it was in February 2020. The recovery is nothing short of remarkable, particularly because GDP dropped in both the first and second quarter. The BLS takes several other cuts at job data. These include unemployment by city and state. And the information is also analyzed by race. In July, Black unemployment was 6%. The jobless rate among whites was 3.1%. The Black jobless rate is 94% higher than the white figure. Unemployment among other groups were as follows. Male unemployment was 3.2%. Among women, the figure was 3.1%. The figure was 2.6% for Asians and 3.9% among Hispanics.
The reasons Black Americans have higher jobless rates than whites fall into several categories. The Economic Policy Institute reports that among the primary reasons are racism and single adult households where one person tries to care for children and hold a full-time job at the same time. Okay, so let me help you with something. This is me speaking. I'm departing from the article to show you and share with you the way I see it. First of all, when you're dealing with white unemployment, you're dealing with a bunch of immigrants. Oh, let me do a disclaimer. I'm not anti-immigrant. I'm anti the weaponization against American freedmen to keep us tethered to the bottom of this Titanic as the anchor of this country's capitalism. And everybody's complicit, okay? The Crayola white supremacists and the white supremacists. If that's not you, don't get your pennies in a bunch, okay? Anywho, back to what I was saying. So when you're dealing with these figures, 2.6% for Asians and 3.9% for Hispanics, you have to understand that most immigrants identify as white. Most immigrants identify as white. So just like Dr. Claude Anderson told us 40 years ago, which is when we should have been weaponizing the vote, okay, that we have no friends and that we're going to become fourth-class citizens in the country our ancestors built with their lives. That is happening in warp speed as I speak, as we share over here. It's happening in warp speed, family. They are importing 200,000 illegal immigrants a month that are getting our reparations and protections while intentionally neglecting American freedom. This is not benign neglect, another word I wish we would throw into the toilet. It is very intentional. You are looking at a White House, a government whom 87% of our electorate put into office, not me. You are looking at 86% of us who Joe Crow promised he would have our backs akin to the way we had his, and we are being ethno-genocide up out this piece, 500 going north. You understand what I'm telling you? So please understand that a lot of these groups identify as white to separate themselves from us and to be complicit in the oppression. These are the people that you have to answer to at the hiring table. Now, if it can happen to me, an educated woman with a ton of experience in corporate with 3Ks, America with 3Ks, okay? I mean, a myriad of experience. If it can happen to me and my colleagues out here, where it can take you 6 months to a year just to get a job, then how much more oppressive is it on those of us that are 90% that share in less than 700 billion in the country our ancestors built with their lives? Okay, so they're talking about these several reasons. Well, institutional systemic racism is how we got here, because we have no social capital at the hiring tables. And you've got Asians and white folks who are working in tandem to get rid of affirmative action. Now, why are they working so hard to get rid of affirmative action? Because they can afford to educate their children. They can afford to pass wealth on to their children. This is what they're able to do, okay? They're able to do this ad nauseum because they killed and stole the wealth from those of us who descend from U.S. chattel slavery. So they don't need affirmative action. White women are secure, white men vis-a-vis LGBTQIAXYZ, and immigrants are secure. The only people who really need it were the ones whose ancestors fought and died for it. That's American freedmen, descendants of U.S. chattel slavery. So they're working 40 going north to get rid of it. And what does that mean? If you don't have affirmative action, then you don't have quotas. You don't have people that look like you doing your bidding, like akin to the boomers, who, not all, some are in this fight. Shout out to the boomers that are fighting with the Gen Z and the millennials. I'm sorry, the Gen X and the millennials. Shout out to you. If I'm not talking about you, don't bark like a hit dog, okay? I'm just speaking in general. The boomers got the benefit from the civil rights they fought and died for, and the affirmative action. The challenge is, I believe they got too damn comfortable, because now Gen X and millennial are in the fight of our lives just to tread water. So now you've got these groups working on the state and federal levels to get rid of affirmative action, now that they've co-opted all the wealth that they get to eat from that was built on the backs of our ancestors' heinous chattel slavery. Everyone gets to eat, but American freedmen, okay? So this is what has happened under the Democrats. I affectionately call the Democrats the Democrats. I affectionately call the Republicans the repugnant clans, okay? Let me help you understand something. Both parties suck. I'm an independent. What I'm talking to you today is about a strategy. Because if we continue this bullshiggity, it will be to our people's peril. Everybody else done secured the bag, weaponizing our never-ending Holocaust to legislate us up out of our own reparations and protections. It's happening in real time. Okay? So I wanted to go over that. The American Progressive Reports. I don't really need to read no more of this because we have a short window, and I want to be able to hear from you. May I see some hands in the room on this particular article before I go to the next one? Anybody would like to speak, or you want me to keep going? Okay.
Nah, sis, that's real powerful right there. But now go ahead, DJ. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, let me mute.
I'm gonna make this quick because I gotta go. So basically, we need to stop voting blue no matter what. If it comes down to it, then I think we should either protest vote. I'm not saying sit it out. Like for example, me, I'm the one who messed up. I didn't vote for Joe Biden, but before that, I voted for the Green Party, like Jill Stein, because she was more close to what I wanted.
Hey, hold on, DJ. Hey, the rep, mute your mic. I think that's your mic, sis. Or maybe that's yours, DJ. Maybe you working or something, but go ahead, brother.
Well, say, is that better?
Yeah, nah, that's you. Whatever feedback that's in the background sound like you at work or something, or riding maybe. But go ahead, speak it though, bro.
No, I was saying we should stop voting blue no matter what, because they have not did nothing for the last 55, 60 years. And besides, the KKK used to be part of the Democrats as well. I've been doing a lot more research on different political parties. I think not this one, not with Joe Biden versus Trump, but before that with Trump versus Hillary Clinton, I voted for like Jill Stein, for example, with Amu Baraka, who was supposed to be like her running mate, because they were for reparations. They were part of the Green Party. There was stuff in that Green Party where I didn't really agree with. But we need to start voting for agendas and what is closely aligned to what we want to vote for. Or I'm not saying to sit some stuff out, but there's also a thing of like protest voting. Even though, let's say the Republicans, we know they're not going to do anything for us. But at least, what was it? Like with Trump, they left us alone for the most part. But yeah, Democrats and Republicans, two left wing, right wing, pretty much the same wing on the same bird. And I was trying to think.
You're absolutely correct.
I guess I'll let my
Thank you for weighing in. Well, I did want to mention another thing. I've been telling my audience for a couple of years now, my viewers, thank you for your support at the Reparations Perspective and on ScrewTube. I've been telling them for a while that when this pandemic occurred, that it was going to wipe us completely off the monopoly board. I mean, seriously, when Barack Obama chose to bail out Main Street, Wall Street, and the banks, and did not put regulations nor audits to guarantee that our tax dollars were being lent back to us, because that's where we lost over half of our wealth, our homes, was during the last recession. I knew when this pandemic was being planned that it was going to wipe the rest of us off the monopoly board completely. And that is what's happening. I'll be bringing future segments on the highest rates of evictions that are happening, mostly to single mothers, since the war on drugs removed the Black men from the homes, and all the other agendas out here have divided us as a family. You've got more single Black women raising Black children, and it's very stressful. We really need our Black men in the homes. Okay, so all of this was by design. But now we've got the highest rates of eviction, the highest rates of homelessness, the highest rates of unemployment and underemployment. Okay, we're the last to be hired and the first to be fired. We have no social capital at the hiring tables, and our affirmative action serves all the other groups but us. It is a problem. And so what I'm recommending, as I will be doing throughout, I was about to make another point. I lost it. Okay, I was talking about how this pandemic was designed to wipe us off the monopoly board, and how I'm going to bring you segments on how NPR just made reports about us being evicted the most. Also, now you have in DC, where they're talking about 40% of the Black children will not be able to attend school because they didn't receive the venom. This is coming. This is more of me making the case. Hold on one second, family. Dismiss. Sorry about that. This is future upcoming spaces I'm going to be holding to educate you more about how voting blue, no matter damn who, has gotten us stuck on the bottom of this Titanic as the anchor of this country's capitalism. And sadly enough, capitalism requires a bottom cast. And the Democrats, whenever we have a trifecta, we are the only group in distress. Have you ever noticed that? When Trump was in office, everybody was complaining. I like socialized suffering. I cannot stand that American freedmen are the only ones screaming to have the oppressive boot, literally and figuratively, lifted up off our necks. It's diabolical what's going on right now. And so what I prayed about this, because we had so-called leaders of the former ADOS movement. I'm not going to live there, but you need to understand that we were marched to the polls to vote Democratic down the ballot without much explanation. So lots of folks went out and voted down the ticket, from Biden, Joe Crow, all the way through the Congress. This is what's been happening. And so rumor has it that's their strategy again. And I'm telling you, it's a failed strategy. Look at where we are since voting blue, no matter damn who, since FDR. What I'm calling on us to do is to vote for only closed border candidates and reparationists. Party me down. Reparationists like Marcel Dixon. And yes, he's running again, and you need to definitely give to his campaign, but you also need to give to his Cash App, because his very racist contract down in South Carolina was not renewed because he's fighting for reparations. He needs us to come through for him and make sure he's got the money to secure his personal self, to secure his home and utilities and food. Because guess what happens even if Marcel Dixon doesn't win? What we're paying for is a reparationist congressman who is totally about the American freedmen agenda, that's going to keep his pedal to the metal of reparations So these Democrats nor the Republican clans will even be able to sleep. And when you show to the polls to vote for closed border candidates, given that immigration is our most imminent threat, listen, you got nothing coming because the Democrats will lie to you about tangibles. Hello, George Floyd Justice and Policing Act that was supposed to end qualified immunity and every other little thing that they lied and pretended to be about to have our people sheepwalk to the polls to elect them. And the Republican clans don't own you. And so what I'm sharing with you in the Freedmen voter strategy is to bring the Democrats to their knees. Party be damned. And just like DJ just mentioned, he said, this wasn't really happening to us specifically under Trump. I'll tell you why. Because Trump was working on behalf of the white racist citizens. And where do we have more protection? Under the umbrella of the white racist citizen than we do the immigrants. Then we do the liberals with the bag. Okay? Who is this? Okay, let me let you speak. Hold on, fam. Do I make you a speaker? Oh, hold on. Let me mute my mic so you can weigh in. I'm sorry. I get carried away. I was born to talk. Hold on. Go ahead, Freedman Amaru.
Hey, preach, Angela, preach. I enjoy everything you have to say. So I hate to even interrupt the real shit that you're kicking because people got to understand this. When we dealing with these quote unquote liberals, they want to treat us as one big red Clifford or one big N word or one big people of color. They don't see us as individuals or our own unique experience in this country. So they are even more detrimental to us as a people uh, than the damn Republicans are. You know, I too am an independent, but I am too also leaning more on the conservative side. Yes, because I want to stop mass immigration, which I know disproportionately hurts us as a people. Also, as a country, it keeps the wages stagnant. You know, but this is what the Democrats is pushing. The Democrats is pushing all of this shit. We're watching uh Eric, whatever his name, Eric Adams in New York putting freaking illegal immigrants in luxury hotels. Meanwhile, the native American freedmen are out there on the street struggling or getting pushed out of New York altogether. That's that Democrat bullshit. That's what they do when they get into office off of our fucking votes, off of the political clout that we give them. They do the utmost when it comes to benign neglect our people. And I appreciate you having this room talking about weaponizing the vote. Everybody's talking about sitting out, but sitting out is cool, it's fine and dandy, but it's not going to get us what we need. And what I think what we need to do is we need to shuffle the deck 2022, shuffle some more 2024. That means get them damn incumbents out the goddamn door. You see what I'm saying? Vote them out of their position. They show that they're not worthy of the position that they're in. So we should come together. We should weaponize our votes and we should vote them out. Now, when it comes to the voting, when it comes to getting the Democrats out, not only am I not going to vote for a Democrat, but I'm going to vote for his opposition's opposition. You see what I'm saying? His opponent's opponents. That's how we got to start utilizing our voting power to get these sons of bitches out of the way. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for weighing in. I appreciate you as well. You know, sitting out ain't cool, family. Sitting out is politically lazy. And in a climate where you've got damn near 100 million immigrants in this country, along with 300 million white folks, allegedly, okay, we can't fight every damn body. So the only thing we've got left now that they've neutralized us economically is the vote. You stay home, family. You leave the fate of our lineage in the hands of immigrants who seek to replace us and Crayola white supremacists who hate us. They want us dead. When you see these race soldiers executing us with impunity, they come in Crayola, baby. They come in Crayola. So no, we cannot afford to sit this one out. We can't even afford to vote third party. We must look under rocks and shit to find the candidates who are America first, because they'll never call themselves closed border candidates. And we got a very narrow window. Now, I know many of y'all want to move back south, but I'm telling you right now, we got some majorities in some of them cities down south, and we still have no power because we've been neutralized economically. And how long, if it's taking this long to get folks to even listen to me about my Freedmen voter strategy I've been begging for a couple of years now, imagine how much harder it is going to be to get the number of people you need to get the people you desire elected. Imagine how much harder that's going to be, because Black folks really ain't got no money to uproot from where they are currently. The median national income for us is around $40,000, with a median national home price of $500,000. We can't even qualify for a home loan, family. But the Hispanics got lower unemployment numbers than we do. The Asians, their incomes are approaching $100K a year, their median incomes. White folks are behind them, which is why they stormed the Capitol. So you don't have a choice but to grow the backbone and the kahunas of our ancestors who knew when to leave the Republicans for the Dixiecrats in the Democratic Party when they wanted civil rights. They strategized, and they didn't even have a Twitter space. They didn't have social media. They didn't have a ScrewTube. They didn't have a Facebook. Okay? And yet, I find myself being in opposition because folks want to get on these spaces and they want to trauma bond instead of talking about strategy. They want to talk fairy tales without a plan. I'm telling you something that we can do immediately to bring these Democrats to their knees and to show them American freedmen were the ones to do it. And we need to move as a block. Even if you got to hold your damn nose at the poll. You got to do this party be damn. Okay, so let me move on. Raise your hand. I'm coming to you. I got to try to move. I got two more things I need to share with you about. Okay, the next thing I'm going is to what this Joe Crow did to repeal that COVID money that was being shared by all the people of color, including the POC white oppressor supremacists. We had a tiny little piece of that. Yes.
Hey, sis, before you carry on before that next article, hey, everybody, we just need about 10 to 15 people, and there's enough of us in here right now. If you go into the Jumbotron right here, go to the sisters, ScrewTube, as you say, aka YouTube. They are shadow banning our sister from getting 1,000 subscribers and trying to monetize her channel. She has over 300 videos speaking on reparations. So we could get 10 to 15 folks right now to go on the Jumbotron, top right side, or the right bubble right there. Also support the Facebook. We got a Facebook, the Reparations Perspective like page on Facebook. Remember, Black people are ostracized from all social media. They don't want the word getting out about what it is we're speaking about and getting people to, come together and unify like we did before the crack era happened. Like we said, there was no social media. Gil Scott Heron told us the revolution shall not be televised. We got to get back out on the street and start stomping. It's the whole argument for our pull up too. But if y'all can, just 10 to 15 people, go right there to the top right corner, subscribe to the YouTube channel and share the YouTube on your live feed, on your social medias, so that, and then go back and watch those videos. Very, very, very informative. Go ahead, sis.
Well, I thank you so much, DJ Seguin. You know you got to just jump in like you just did because sister was going to talk. Listen, I want to thank y'all because even while shadow banned and not being at 1,000 subs, I had over 45,000 views of my material over there. And you'll get to see me from when I was a baby in the movement. You know, one of the co-founders of the former ADOS movement. all the way up and through when ScrewTube shut me down. So I want to thank each and every one of you, because I know some of y'all has been watching. I can't see everybody right now because I'm in my zone. But I thank you for being here, and I thank you for getting me to 1,000 subs, so I can, as DJ Segwan mentioned, monetize. Yes. Yeah, they're definitely messing with your sister because I don't hold no punches. You know, folks are like, why won't you run? Because I like to punch. I like to punch down like they like to punch down on us. And I need to be able to freely speak. And well, Marcel has definitely, shown me that I can speak. But see, Marcel is in a predominantly Black area. I'm out here with 50% Hispanics now. We've gone down from 17 to 3%. And a 2004 to 2014 Color of Wealth LA report showed African to U.S. Black, Africans were 60,000 liquid to U.S. Black 200 liquid. And although we were 44% degree to their 56% degree, their median income here from 2004 to 2014 was 115,000 to our median income of 53.5, and Hispanics were 50K, $3,500 shy of our median income, and they were only 17% degree. Okay, so you definitely don't want to stay home. If you do, it will be to our peril. So next, I want to give a shout out to TD Hip Hop Media. Make sure you give him a like, share, subscribe on his ScrewTube. He's been putting in work. I love the way he succinctly does things. Listen, I was over there and I share his stuff, and I share quite a few people's stuff, even though some of the ones with bigger platforms are doing a very reckless thing, telling our people specifically to stay home. Are you freaking kidding me? Stay home in this climate? You must be nuts. Okay, so shout out to TV Hip Hop Media, who did the next article I'm going to bring you. Now, I don't know what order this will be in, but I kind of screenshot his stuff because he had already highlighted it. And in the namesake of expediency, I just want to read you the puckery going on with Joe Crow. Now, I won't be able to see you because I'm over here in my gallery pulling up this stuff, reading with my Walmart readers, okay? So I won't be able to see you right now. But this Mickey Thicky, Joe Crow, Strom Thurmond's protege, look it up. I ain't got time to go into that relationship, okay? He is as racist as Bull O'Connor. Just look it up. This is the ilk that Strom Thurmond, same difference. Joe Crow is birthed in. Just like Crooked Hillary with 3 Ks, she was in fact a Goldwater girl. You got a lot of Dixie cracks still in the Democratic Party. Pump what you heard, okay? So let's get into it. Now, this Mickey Thicky had the unmitigated gall. Remember that $4 billion that he gifted to Black farmers and POC farmers? Okay, it was a USDA coronavirus food assistance program. Well, I don't think these numbers are right, but yeah, this is looking wild. Okay, just follow with me, okay? I didn't really look at this close enough. This is the USDA's coronavirus food assistance program. $9.2 billion. Okay, this is the right one. I thought it was only $4 billion, but apparently it was $9.2 billion. Listen to these numbers, family, and be mortified, okay? Can y'all still hear me, DJ? Let me know.
Yeah, you good. You cooking. You cooking.
Okay, great. So I post, thank you so much. I don't know when I'm over here if y'all can hear me. Okay, USDA's coronavirus food assistance program earmarked $9.2 billion of COVID relief to the nation's farmers. I'm gonna read this in the order of how people were endowed, and then we're gonna get in. Okay, white farmers got 6.7 billion with a B of this 9.2 billion earmarked to the nation's farmers. Next, Latinas got $100 million. Next, Native Americans got $76 million. Asian Americans got $17.6 million. Blacks got $15 million. Did you hear the words that came out of my mouth? I'm sick and mortified. This is an epic problem of epic proportion because this is what 86% of our electorate voted into the White House. This was Joe Crow's mandate. And then white folks and POC white supremacists appealed to the Supreme Court to get this debt relief shut down. A measly $15 million. And now Joe Crow, in the name of trying to set his white arse up to win the midterms for his people, lots of black white supremacists in the CBC, okay? He's got the unmitigated gall to repeal this money. Because, of course, he got a tap dance for the Republicans, you see? Let's get into it. We were the ones to farm this land to build one of the wealthiest economies in the known world. And he only accordance $15 million to us. And what did I say? Put the Walmart readers back on. Hold on. This Mickey gave us $15 million Latinos, Asian Americans who have a median income of around $100,000 and own up all our neighborhoods, everything going. Gave them 17.6, Native American 76, Latino 100 million. And white folks got 6.7 billion with a B. This is y'all's president, because I didn't vote for this wigger, okay? I did not. Let me move on and talk about it. This is a hot ass mess. Black farmers lost $326 billion with a B in land over 8 decades. Stalled debt relief could mean the next wave of losses, and now Joe Crow has repealed that money. These farmers are being wiped completely off the monopoly board. But guess who he took care of? To the tune of $250 million. Ding, ding, ding. You guessed it. The Ukrainian neo-Nazis. The Ukrainian neo-Nazis. Let me read some of TD Hip Hop Media's highlights. I'm going to jump around because I don't even know what order this is in, to tell you the truth. It's a bunch of highlights, y'all. Hold on. Let me see. I'm going to try to go in order. Okay. Decades of discrimination. It's story time, y'all. Put your listening ears on. Put your questions on your pages and raise your hands. I'm coming back before I get into my third and final disdain for the Joe Crow administration. Decades of discrimination. The threat posed to Black farm ownership is part of a long-running historical trend. While Black farm ownership rose in the decades after the Civil War brought an end to slavery, the number of Black farmers in the U.S. has fallen sharply and disproportionately over the last century, research shows. Black farmers own around 16 million acres by 1910 and accounted for more than 14% of producers. The latest census of agriculture in 2017 estimated Black farm ownership at around 4.7 million acres and Black farmers at less than 2% of all farmers. Moving on. Research has shown that decades of discrimination drove a large number of Black farmers off their land. The Agriculture Department acknowledged discriminatory treatment of Black farmers in 1999 and 2011 settlements of lawsuits known as the Pickford cases. The lawsuits were brought on behalf of Black farmers, contending that they had been discriminated against by local USDA county committees when applying for farm loans or attempting to participate in other programs. Discrimination took the form of obstacles to applying for loans and delays in loan approval. Black farmers were also foreclosed upon more quickly and with less resource than other producers. A 2001 investigation by the Associated Press documented a pattern that saw Black Americans cheated out of land or driven off it by intimidation, violence, and in some cases, murder. Government officials approved land takings in some cases and participated in them in others, the reporting found. This was lost opportunity to grow intergenerational wealth. The land losses have taken a deep economic toll, according to economists and legal scholars. A paper published last month pegged the present compounded value of the Black land loss from 1920 to 1997, we're in 2022, at roughly $326 billion. This is me speaking, I'm breaking from the article. And this is why I am in total disagreement with certain lead economists' number of $14 trillion to close over hundreds of trillions of dollars egregious racial wealth gap. As a negotiator by trade, I am all about calculating not just the debt for slavery, but for Jim Crow and the crude ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives. And so the longer it takes, the bigger that settlement grows for American freedmen. And it ain't our fault, and I'm not going to apologize for supporting numbers in the quadrillions. That's a real number. Thomas Kramer came up to 6.6 quadrillion, and that was from 1776 when the country was formed to 1865 when we were free to our own peril, okay? He took 18 hours of labor a day at 3 cents per hour, compounded at 6%. That's how he got 6.6 quadrillion. He didn't just pull that out of his ass, okay? Back to the text. That's a conservative estimate. Yeah, because we're in 2022 as well. Said Dania Francis, a professor of economics at the University of Massachusetts, Boston, and a co-author of the paper, which argues that had Black families not been intimidated off their farms, they might have invested in more land, which had a high return in the 20th century. Me speaking, isn't this what the fuck they did when they rescinded our 40 acres and a mule and gave the Homestead Act to these white immigrants for 100 motherfucking years? Isn't this the same wash, rinse, repeat as we continue to show to the polls, voting blue, no matter damn who, to our own people's peril? Back to the text. Also, data limitations meant the researchers started their estimate in 1920 rather than 1910. Me speaking, because we've been over here since before 1619. Anywho, DJ, you trying to speak? I'm sorry. I heard somebody grunt. Okay, I'm moving on, y'all, as fast as I can, but I gotta weigh in, and then y'all can weigh in. Okay, just bear with me. You gotta hear it. I know it sucks, makes you mad. I guess I'm hotter than fish grease, Okay,
No,
so
no, my bad, sister. My bad. I had my mic on by mistake. I'm over here moving around, but we listening to you. Keep cooking. Keep cooking.
all right, great, thank you. Estimate in 19, okay. Also, data limitations meant the researchers started their estimate in 1920 rather than 1910, which marked the peak of Black land ownership, meaning that a decade of losses was not even included in the estimate. The findings are a springboard to examining neglected causes of racial wealth gap, Francis said in an interview. When I see this amount of wealth being extracted from Black families and Black communities, it represents more than just a dollar figure, Francis said. It represents opportunities, hold on, to spring into the, hold on, it jumped you off. It represents the lost opportunity of growing intergenerational wealth and helps put the historical origins of American racial wealth gap into perspective in a way that is not always part of the narrative, which often focuses instead on calls for Black families to save and invest more wisely, Francis said. What a crocker-ish. Okay, I'll land there while I pull up the interview with the gentleman who's leading the charge, because I want to weigh in on his representation of all these POCs that are getting significantly more consideration and debt relief than us. You see, it's time for everybody to get off the tip. It's time for American freedmen to be selfish with American freedmen. Okay? Xenophobia and all these type of insults be damned. Look at what's happened to you while you're being polite to spare other people their feelings because they want to cry that we're fighting for a debt that is owed. So let me land there for a minute, and I don't even know if I can listen. I'm not going to cue it up. It's going to be I don't know how to do it. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Okay, I know how to do it. Let's come over and you guys can weigh in. Just a second. Let me get out of that. Lord have mercy, y'all. Forgive me. I'm new to this kind of stuff. Okay, let's see. Who has their hands up and want to weigh in?
Hey, yeah, that's brother Insane Optimus. Come on up, bro. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's happening? What's happening? The reparations perspective and Kite and everybody else in the space. Great topic, especially when you start to talk about Black farmers and what's going on there. And the only thing I can add to it to give it greater perspective is to remind people that the whole SNAP EBT program is tied into that farm bill. And there's some major contradictions that just scream out at you when you really take a look at it, reparations perspective. And that's what I've been doing for about the last week or so. When you look at that farm bill, you got a situation where nearly 9 million, they say, African Americans receive food stamps each month. This represents a quarter of the African American population. But you got a situation where the farmers can't get the money, and then when the money is given to them in the day-to-day existence of a farmer, it's key that they get that money at a certain time. They have to get it well before the growing season starts. That's an issue with Black farmers. I know it being a Southerner. They tend to put in all kind of roadblocks in terms of these farmers getting their monies in a timely fashion. So they're already behind on some of those payments for those big pieces of equipment. Those pieces of equipment are like $300,000 to $400,000 easily. So they're behind on their equipment payments, unlike the white farmers who always get their monies on time. So then they can take care of their operating costs, get whatever seed, feed they need, and start to cultivate and produce the products. So that's a big issue with that. But when you look at that farm bill, you look at how we're disproportionately represented in terms of receiving these SNAP benefits. And then when you look at the amount, the paltry sum that Black farmers get, it's just major contradictions with that. Major contradictions. And I feel like enough cannot be said about that, and understanding that Black farmers are always operating with a target on their backs. It's just like so many things put in the way of them being successful. And again, the great irony and the disgusting thing about it is we're so disproportionately represented in terms of receiving those benefits that's tied into the actual farm bill. That's a major contradiction, and the amount of obstacles that Black farmers endure makes it highly likely. It makes it highly likely that they may in turn may end up being a recipient of SNAP benefits more so than being successful. That is extremely problematic. And in finality, I want to say that she's absolutely right about TD Hip Hop Media. He advocates a lot. He makes it known that he's Haitian American, but he's been clear about his stance on reparations. This should be for the descendants of slaves. He's very clear about that, and he advocates strong for the community. He was the one who brought it to my attention about how these money's going to HBCUs, how under Biden, the HBCUs have to compete with Hispanic serving institutions. That's a government term. So that means that any institution that's serving Hispanics, Black colleges have to compete with them now. And those are mostly white institutions. Or you're going to get a situation where you have all of these new arrival DACA recipients at these HBCUs, overrunning them and literally taking over and becoming the new face of HBCUs. Yes, TD Hip Hop Media brought that to my attention about 6 months ago. So I can't agree more with what you're saying, reparations perspective. He brings out some good data. He makes it clear about who he is, his history, and who these reparations should be slated for. Good stuff you're sharing. That farm bill, extremely problematic, a lot of contradictions in it, and enough can't be said about it. I'll land my plane with that.
Thank you for that amazing contribution to today's space, fam. I appreciate you. I'm taking notes so I can bring some of those articles to the space so we can chop it up some more and expound. I learned a couple new things today. Thank you, family. I think we've got...
I posted, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I posted a piece in the Jumbotron from some of those stats about our representation on EBT, so you can juxtapose it and compare it to the actual farm bill.
Thank you. Family, they're about to lose everything. I'm going to mute the mic while I'm going to let Harvey Burnett go next, and then we're going to have Professor Smiles go after Harvey. Thank you for joining the space. Go ahead.
Hello, and thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak and some wonderful information. I really appreciate, I think Brother Keith there invited me to this. And so thank you so much for this information. And so far as what we were talking about before, about weaponizing the vote, I think now is the opportune time to leverage every vote. I am meeting with every representative period that's on the ballot. I'm calling their office. I'm meeting with those that are local that I can get to. And if reparations is not on their agenda, I'm letting them know to their face. They do not have my vote. They don't have my support. They don't have anything that has to do with me. I don't care who they are. I don't care if they're Black. I don't care what they're going or what they're saying. But if they're not doing anything to support issues that are important to me, they don't have anything to do with me. And I'm letting them know that I will tell others. I'm spreading the word that they don't have our concern at heart. Every Democrat, every Republican, every independent, or whoever they are, needs to know, and they need to stand up and make it plain where they stand on this issue, among others. But this issue is of vital importance as well, because, as the sentiment is, we're tired of being pushed to the back. We're tired of our agenda being tabled. We're tired of those like Gavin Newsom trying to use us to, like Lyndon B. Johnson did, while he was calling us niggers and telling folks, you'll never be nothing but a nigger, and at the same time, signing civil rights legislation trying to seduce Black folks into following his party because they were power hungry and power drunk. And he used that technique, and that technique lasted, up until now. Well, with me anyway, and with those of you who are here, I know I've heard you, that stuff is broken, and thank God for that. And so I'm letting them know now, every one of them is getting my contact information, and I'm contacting them, and I want to speak to their assistants. I don't want to speak to their subs. I want to speak to them, that representative, to know exactly where they stand. And that's what I'm doing in my little neck of the woods. And thank you so much. God bless you real good. Keep on keeping on.
Thank you so much. Listen, I got to weigh in, family. We are out of time. These Democrat Dixiecrats have lied and lied and lied all the way to the bottom of the Titanic. We are that anchor of this country's capitalism that our ancestors built with their lives. I would, just give you some little things to think about here. I'm not having no more conversation. I don't feel like talking to nobody because they're liars. The Democrats will lie in your face and say, sure, I support H.R. 40, even though they've locked us out of access to our own reparations table, fam. That H.R. 40 is not what I think. Someone showed me that it might be lineage specific now because we done screamed hard enough. But do you know, every hearing on H.R. 40, they were talking about no cash consideration. So basically what they want to do with that H.R. 40, which is why me and the grassroots have been screaming up and down no to H.R. 40, they literally want to give more programs with the left hand that they give away to whites and immigrants with the right. Look at what Joe Crow just did to the Black farmers. They were the least to be paid. White folks was getting over 6 billion, Latinos 100 million, to our poultry 15 million. Okay, so all they do is take our oppression and they weaponize it against us to give immigrants and white folks the bag and the protections. That's all they freaking do, all the way back to when our Black soldiers fought and won the Civil War. Ergo, they won our emancipation. We were given 40 acres and a mule. They rescinded it and gave 100 years of the Homestead Act to white folks who got 100-year plus head start with the infrastructure built on the backs of our ancestors. I am done having a conversation. I would implore upon you to hold your nose, go to these polls, and find every closed border candidate and reparationist candidate like Greg Marcel Dixon and cast your vote. Party be damned. We are out of time. If we aren't deliberate with this vote, if we don't turn out this midterm in Obama-style numbers, their plans to extinct us will already be cemented with the Black vote. In other words, we are voting blue no matter who to our own replacement and extinction. I am sick of these Dixiecrat Democrats who lie like a rug. They mean us no good. And I don't give a damn about no Republican Klan. I am an independent. I say weaponize the vote. This is the best strategy we got going. Ain't nobody else told me nothing better than what God gave me in prayer. After, like I said, former
so-called wingers told us to go vote blue down the ticket, and look at where we are. These black farmers, like the gentleman just intimated, are about to be on food stamps. I'll land there. Go ahead. Let's see here. Professor Smiles, it's your turn to bless the mic.
Hey, Professor, before you go
All
ahead
right.
and hey, everybody just get up in the Jumbotron and go to our sister's YouTube. It's on the far right-hand side. Please support the ScrewTube, aka YouTube. They are trying to shadow ban our sister from us getting this information. She has 300 videos over there. 300 plus videos, 2 hours plus a video, speaking and cooking the exact same way she doing. So there's other side dishes over on the ScrewTube. Y'all could go eat as well. But what's up, Professor? Come on up, bro.
Yes, thank you so much, Sister Reparations and DJ, man. Thank y'all so much for hosting this space. We need this information because we can carry it on to people around us to educate them. Everybody in our communities, in the Black family, the FBA, we all need to be getting this out here. This is very important. Like you said, Sister Reparations, we are running out of time. Now, Sister Reparations, I want to ask you a question because I think it was about sometime last year, the USDA was about to send out some payments to Black farmers. And something happened, I guess, where the white farmers filed a federal lawsuit to halt those payments, which is a disgrace because Black people already have been fighting and struggling for years to get equality and fairness in this country. And these folks filed a lawsuit to keep our Black farmers from being able to get that money. I was hoping I could get you to speak on that, Sister Reparations, because I don't know if I ever heard the final details on that. I know they filed it. I don't know what was the finalized details to it. Can you speak on that for us?
So let me go to something TV Hip Hop Media shared, but you're absolutely correct. And it wasn't just white folks. It was Crayola whites too. You know, the Asians and the Latinas, even though the Asians clearly got 17.6 million of those COVID debt relief dollars for their farmers. And the Latinas got 100 million to our poultry 15 million. Yes, you're absolutely correct. No different than out here in California, where, you know, we had the Coon Freedmen, Ward Connerly, who introduced Prop 209. I think, y'all, I got a lot of data running through my head. Prop 209 to rescind affirmative action. And now the UC schools are down to less than 3% of Blacks. The Asians were complicit. We got Black-white oppressors, Black-white supremacists like Ward Connerly, who is a freedman, who sat up here and made sure affirmative action was repealed so that we couldn't be educated based on race when we know this whole entire country has always been based on race. It's a social construct that's made up to keep us tethered to the bottom as the anchor of this country's capitalism. So without jumping to TV Hip Hop, I shared it in my thread. You can go and view his video as well, TV Hip Hop Media. He just did, one of my friends, Darrell Craft, over in Facebook shared this in my messenger. He just did this video, okay? But basically what, they don't even have to, they got this thing caught up in the Supreme Court so that the Black farmers would not receive a dime of that money. And they also won on some USDA measure. That money ain't coming. They are being foreclosed on while this thing sits in court, and Biden just repealed it. So they got nothing coming now. Nothing coming, not even the paltry 15 million. So you're absolutely correct. Let me let Insane Optimism go. If you're done, Professor Smiles, did I answer your question? I don't even know if I did.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you did. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let me let Insane Optimism bless the mic, brother.
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed, reparations perspective. And Professor, you're right. You know these. Um,
Hey, thank you
yeah, I
there.
just posted two more items in the jumbotron. One is the actual farm bill, the one that Trump signed into effect, and there's some interesting things in that thing. Again, you know, yes, we definitely need to weaponize our votes, and this farm bill is one of the reasons why. Man, this thing is crazy, man. When you go into the farm bill, SNAP is a part of that, okay? But then there's also under trade, there is a fellowship called the Borlaug Fellowship. I posted it in the Jumbotron. You can look at them. The Borlaug Fellowship sends scientists all into third world countries, especially like in Africa and Latin America, to help those people along. That's all well and fine. But again, these contradictions are glaring because there are people here who should be schooled on farming, especially when you look at how we've been cheated as farmers, as a farming community, you know, how we've been cheated. We need those same scientists and stuff going into these communities, helping Black farmers along so they can hold on to their farms. So these white farmers are upset. They want to stop the money, but they don't mind when this money goes all over the world to help people in these other countries. That's extremely problematic. It is designed to continue to take land and farms away from the Black community. That's what that farm bill is set up by SNAP being a part of that. That's what that farm bill is set up to do, man. It is having deep and consequential effects on the community, especially Black farmers, because when you go into the grocery store, you're overwhelmingly buying stuff, you know, sent from all over the world, but a lot of it is coming from here. How much of that is coming from Black farmers? That's what it gets down to. How much are you patronizing Black farmers when you go into these grocery stores to buy stuff? Very little, I would say. So again, those items are posted there. You can look at that Borlaug Fellowship. This sends scientists, probably from predominantly white universities all over the world, specifically to Africa and into Latin America, to help these people learn how to farm. Well, we need that help here. If you're so upset about money and people getting money, you want to excuse me, initiate these lawsuits excuse me, against Black farmers. How about just cutting out all the money that's going out of the country? So that's definitely racism. That's the blowback. That's racism, undeniable. You cannot deny that. So again, those things are posted in the Jumbotron, and they're not difficult to look at. Take a gander at them, and you'll really fully appreciate what the reparations perspective is trying to bring into focus. I am definitely on board with weaponizing the vote. You know, I can lean hard and strong into what she's saying about, you know, staying away from the polls versus going in there with strong policy that contradicts what these Democrats are doing, you know, because they're doing us in. We do not have a lot of time. Time is not a luxury that we have. We have to come up with some very strong strategy and execute. We have to do that. And I'll land my plane with that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we're out of time. There's no mistaking that. And I thank you again for blessing the mic. Kite, I see your hand. Go ahead. Go for it. Bless the mic.
No, I'm just saying I agree with everybody, you know, and just at the end of the day, when you guys get a chance, please share this live out. It's being recorded so that way folks can listen to it later on and play it back. You know, for those that live in parts of the country where they don't really come across immigrants or, you know, other folks from other foreign lands, y'all have no clue what these folks have been doing for the last 35 years. I'm 42. But 35 years that I've been noticing it. You see what I'm saying? They've always acted upon their own interests. They never had our own interests at heart. We have been the ones that's been empathetic to these people time and time again. Oh no, you know, they're a part of us, or you know, they with us. Nah, but we're not never with them. If you've been paying attention to the sister Nordos, what's going on with the Power 106 over in LA, American Cholo, why do you feel to keep saying African American? Tiger is not an African American. He's a Jamaican mix. That's not black, dog, let alone African American, meaning black Americans. You see that? But the problem is we can't flatten the blackness here no more. Because I realize since all this stuff has been going on, the government has used the civil rights laws of the immigration reform of the 60s to go against us. So LA or West Side, West Coast has been dealing with the Hispanic Latino issue, while we're over here on the East Coast somewhat cool with the Hispanic Latinos, but have an issue with the black diasporans. So they put each of these people on each side of the coast to fucking erase us. No, that's enough. They don't support us. They don't patronize us. We're only integrated because we have to live and work amongst each other. But if they had an opportunity choice, they wouldn't be around us. And our folks do complain about that, but we feel that we don't want to make a fuss about it. That's the problem with black people. We don't like to fucking complain like these white folks do to get the job done. Nah, hell no. Go close the border. I understand certain folks down in the South, y'all might not really be dealing with these jokers like that, like us here in the tri-state North area or over there on the far West Coast in California. Nah, look at what Governor Greg Abbott doing. He told Joe Biden, either you give me some help or you send some extra money so I can hire the people myself. You don't want to do either or. I'm about to pack these folks up and send their ass to every Democratic city. And that's affecting us, yo. We're in the Democratic cities. Hello? These folks are coming over here taking the little itty bitty jobs that ain't leaving nothing for nobody. Inflation is fucking ruining everything right now. I don't care about what's going over in Ukraine. Fuck them people, yo. On some real shit, yo. Don't care, yo. Know what I mean? Don't care. Putin bombed the shit out the whole Europe. Don't give them niggas no gas. Trump was right. He told Germany, you're going to have to stop depending on Russia for gas. They laughed at him. Now who laughing? You know what I'm saying? Who laughing now? Germany, you know what I'm saying? When Trump told y'all, stop depending on Russia for fucking gas. Now the whole Europe about to freeze this winter, yo. I yield.
Okay, I see there is a request, and I'm coming to you, my love. Just stand by. Don't leave. I'm coming.
No, I got the request. Don't worry about that, sister.
Okay. Well, I want to share with y'all about how smug the South is. I mean, they're not like inactive. They're really trying to get us to uproot from where we are to move there. And my question is, with what and what's the damn plan? I ain't into just uproot my entire life to come back to the South with no plan to have no real power. Because money is power. We've been neutralized economically everywhere. And as California and New York goes, it's coming to the South. Let me listen. Let me let you hear Raul, I don't know if that's his real name, at the Freedmen Bank Forum. Talk about how they've got a major credit union that this racist ass administration gave them more money to the credit union to now where he's got the money to lend to 126 ethnicities. They about to take North Carolina over. Just listen. And DJ, please let me know if you can hear this or not, because I had to take it off my Bluetooth on my phone to run it through my Bluetooth on my laptop. Let me know how the sound is, okay?
Okay.
Well, thank you both for sharing your stories. And the truth is that because of the capital injection,
hey, turn the volume up or move the mic closer.
100 more stories just like yours that are being not being made possible because you make your stories possible.
Yeah, much better.
But being provided the resources they need to continue to lend and build
Start
businesses
over.
and communities. And while the government is doing its part by injecting this capital, we know the private sector has also been doing a great deal.
Yeah, no, start it over though, because nobody heard it.
Okay, hold on.
But over the last few years, we've seen companies step into the space as well in terms of partnering with CDFIs.
Oh Lord, one of these days I'm gonna have folks to do all this kind of stuff, y'all. I play all the roles.
But no, you can send it. You can send it to me. I can play it on another device.
No,
Because I'm a speaker here.
Device. It's just faster this way. I'll be more. You just brought up about, this immigration impacting us, and it's not in the South. What I'm trying to do is sound the motherfucking alarm, okay? I'm trying to let y'all know we were 17% in the state of California. We are now about 2.6 million in the state. And of that, about 2.2 million is free U.S. Black, freedmen, descendant of U.S. chattel slavery. They have legislated us out of here and have become, Sugarfoot. Hold on, y'all. What does my child want? Damn.
So with that being said, y'all.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought. What was I saying, DJ?
About the immigrants down in the South.
Yes, the immigrants are planning to take it over, and our government is giving them the means to do so. They're giving away our reparations to enable them to come in and take it over. And to that point, understand this here. This country does not import anyone but immigrants who hate American freedmen. This is not benign. It is very intentional. Now, we don't just have to fight the white folks. We got to fight the POC immigrant whites. And when does that leave you time to fight for yourself and for your line? You're worn the hell out. I know I am. Okay? Worn the hell out, sounding the alarm while being shadow banned everywhere. Okay? And while our folks stay asleep and stay cheering for us to abort our babies as if we haven't already given 20 million plus back to God. Okay? How many stellar freedmen, were vacuumed out of the sisters? And we fighting for bullshit like that. You got more folks upset about the right to kill our lineage than you do in the fight for reparations. Nobody talks about how psychologically pucked up our women are having to choose to have their babies vacuumed out of them. Nobody talks about that. But let's just be able to puck irresponsibly and use abortions as a form of birth control. Now, I'm not talking about for those who get raped or, for those who it might be a near-death experience for them if they weren't. I'm saying we in the wrong motherfucking fight. And they are happy that we're fighting for their diabolical agendas to end this line. They not important no one but those that hate you. And I'm about to get into that third article, which is my closer with Jimmy Dore. Shout out to Jimmy Dore. He laid it all the way down when he talked about these white supremacist glacier donkeys that Biden is putting as judgeships. Oh yeah, we gonna get into that. And we're going to talk about that $37 billion he's asked Congress for to bring more militarized glacier donkey race soldiers into our communities while saying nothing to end qualified immunity. It's about to be open season. And they can't find, so they claim, we know they lie, they can't seem to find folks that want to be cops with 3 Ks no more. So what does that mean? The Latinas that are being migrated here, whom they're not vetting over the border. They're bringing in the kind that will take your head off. They bringing in the kind that are lacing our drugs in our community with fentanyl. Okay? So those are the ones like Villanueva down here, the sheriff that's in charge of the gangs called the police, the cops down here in Southern California. That's the kind that will be militarized to come into our communities since, folks don't really want to take them jobs no more. Why don't they want those jobs? Because their asses are on national and international display with the puckery, and they're having to do an easy bit of time, you see.
Now they don't want to get involved because they can't just get away with murdering us. They can't just kneel on our necks for 9 minutes and the world be okay with that as they run around the goddamn world talking about humanitarian crises here, humanitarian crises there. Okay? They've been found out. Not the folks didn't know, but it's on full display thanks to social media and the cell phone and everybody in the new black media space making this go viral. Anyway, I digress. I see your hand, my love. I promise I'm coming. Let me play what Kite just spoke on. I want to play what happened at the Freedmen Bank Forum with a Hispanic that told you. He foreshadowed what he intends to do with the money that he got from our government, the Joe Crow administration. They got far more money than the black banks. Do you know anybody black that's received any money from the Freedmen Bank Forum? This is what I'm talking about. They weaponize our Holocaust to enrich everybody else gets the bag and protections. Stand by. I think I'm good. Let me know. Hold on.
An MDI. And I wanted to turn to you to talk a little bit about why Google has decided to invest in these institutions and what you've learned about it that you think could be valuable to other corporations that are thinking about doing the same.
Oh, not her. God,
Thank you. Thank you for convening us and the focus on this critical issue. The stories like the ones we've heard are the reason we stepped up to the plate.
Hold on, y'all.
Join us. Feel our pain, feel our joy as well. But understand us. There is a new. We were so fortunate to.
Just a second, I'm backing it up.
The challenges that
okay,
they are dealing
listen
with
up, guys.
also. So communication and dialogue are important. This kind of session for me, I think, is just unbelievable. I thank John Bryan for taking the initiative to press for such a forum, because these are the kind of forums that can help change. But we don't need momentary commitments for somebody to feel good about their commitment for a minute, but to understand that these are ongoing challenges.
Okay, y'all, that was the wrong part. Let me try to fast forward that part. Thank you guys for joining the live. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to fast forward this because I had the wrong segment, but the right segment's coming up momentarily. Stand by.
That you need to feel comfortable, but we need access and we need commitment that is not temporary.
The global companies of China. Now is a great moment, but if you want precision, now that you know that we exist, try to understand us, not judge us. If you want to, or through a credit card, feel our joy as well. But understand us. There is a new. We were so fortunate to receive a philanthropic contribution from McKinsey Scott. Out of the blue, $10 million. No commitments. Just give me a one page in 1 year to tell what you have tried this career that doesn't mean. Because we want to solve poverty.
Okay, family, that wasn't the part where he was talking about all the money and all the ethnicities. Let me try to find it. Go ahead. Let me put, I'm going to go on hold. I think we have,
Go ahead, set it up. I'll take care of it.
All right, very good.
Yeah, so with that being said, y'all, so even with that little vocal article right there, he's basically saying that, give us a chance, work with us. But hold up a minute, whoever gave black people a chance, we still ain't had our chance to get our American dream going. But hey, ain't saying I'm gonna get to you, but Amelia, come on up.
Hey guys, great space. Hey Angela, hey Productions, Kite Productions, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. Means to make known. And Productions, you know what that means. We producing our reparations. You know what I mean?
Yes. Great space, guys. Really great space. Angela, I remember seeing you the first time I saw you. You were with Politics in Black. For those of you who don't know, Paul Black is also on YouTube. It's with Mrs. Jones and Mr. Brown. They are part of the AB 3121 California Reparations Task Force push and everything. And you and Politics in Black, y'all were on Mike Hill's show with the tether, and y'all were just chopping and dicing, just giving them, real factual knowledge and just stomping them each and every time. And so I followed you after that. But I'm gonna hit you in the DM. I want to talk to you about something kind of brainstorming, and maybe we could collab. But I'm gonna hit you in the DM. All right, talk to you later. And great space. Very much needed topic. All right, I'm gonna drop down. Bye.
Appreciate you, sis, all day. Hey, Insane, go ahead, bro.
Hey, once again, great space, great space reparations perspective, and you're absolutely right. North Carolina is pretty much it's done. The momentum here is great, and you're talking about these credit unions. Yeah, in Durham. Durham was once home to the now defunct Malcolm X University. Well, Latino Credit Union is big in Durham now, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And I see the infrastructure being built out and how they are being favored. Now, I posted one more item in the Jumbotron because, again, when you're hitting on these Black farmers and stuff, that's very crucial. The item that I posted is related to worker co-op up in Hendersonville, North Carolina, which is up in the mountains. Okay, there is a white farmer who is helping them get a co-op off the ground. He's using his land. I read the article about 6 months ago, but from what I can gather is he's giving them major support to help them get a co-op off the ground. Okay, it's in Hendersonville, North Carolina. That's in the mountains. We're not talking about the Rocky Mountains. We're talking about Appalachia. There's plenty of Black people in Hendersonville because I've been there. I've lived there. Nina Simone, she's out of Troy, North Carolina, up in the mountains. That's about 45 minutes from Hendersonville. Roberta Flack. Roberta
Yes,
Flack.
Hey,
Roberta,
hold on a second. Hey, let brother land his plane, sis, real quick. Go
Roberta
ahead.
Flack. She's from the mountains. Asheville, North Carolina, which is about 20 minutes from Henderson, where this co-op is taking off. That's got plenty of Black people. Shirley Hemphill from What's Happening from Asheville. So there's no shortage of Black people up in these mountains. But this white farmer who is helping these Latinos get this co-op off the ground, he is part of that class that filed this lawsuit against the Black farmer. They are weaponizing this farm bill against us, and it's going to be a major part of our undoing. We really need to study this thing, and that needs to be one of our major gripes as we move into this new election season and as we decide on what's important to us as voters. Do not take that farm bill for granted. And I'll land my plane with that.
Okay,
Sure
guys.
Kite,
let me jump in because I found the piece I really need y'all to hear. I thank y'all for being here. I love y'all Black and strong, and I know I'm passionate, a little loud, but my anger gets shit done. So just bear with me, okay? Let me play this. Y'all not gonna believe this right here. This is the piece I meant to play. Hold on. I'm gonna back it up a teeny bit, okay? So just bear with me, y'all. Here we go.
As killers of so many of our businesses, they don't get an opportunity. They don't get an opportunity to live through the critical early periods that are necessary before they can actually take hold. Our third emphasis will be around supporting our SSDIC.
Okay, I'm going to fast forward just a second, y'all. I want to just jump to that part.
Where we can further, so we create capital, look at enhancing the steps as you take. Many of the urban community deserts, and so disproportionately many of them used by their families. If you say to Senator Yellen and the rest that I am delighted that we've all adopted numbers that are realistic. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Luis Pastor. I came from Durham, North Carolina. And before that, I came from a different world, completely different world. Before coming to the United States.
Y'all listen to this part.
And was the year that we started Latino Community Credit Union as a sad news, a sad response to a continuous attack to the immigrant community. But I think that we were in the journey to prove that we're not going to let people tell our story. From a sad situation, we need to transform our institution into a very, very happy situation. And how do you do that? Just became the place of opportunity. Just becoming the place where you don't need to hide who you are. The place that we can pronounce your last name. The place that we can speak in your language. Most of the time. The place where the largest fear that all of us have dealing with financial institution is rejection. It's just going, it doesn't matter who we are. Every time that you go, you just don't want people because you feel that they are judging you as a person. They're not judging. And the problem is that most of the time, it's true. They judge you as a person. If you don't know, if you don't show, if you don't look, if you don't speak like the person that they're expecting. So 21 years later, we are, well, in credit union world, we're a large credit union. We are 700 million in assets, soon to be 800 just with the money that we are going to be awarded. And recently, in the last few months, we started just offering mortgages in the surrounding states. In 3 months, we just booked mortgages in Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, on top of North Carolina. When we talk about individuals, communities that have been left out in every single economic crisis, there we are. They are the immigrants. And even don't let our name confuse you. Even we are called Latino Community Credit Union. We have immigrants from 136 countries in the world. So the exclusion is not just something that is only based on your country of origin. It's a common situation. We're going to keep expanding. We're going to keep opening opportunities. We're going to keep dreaming. The message that we have been giving to our community, more than 100,000 members that we have right now, is that when you are an immigrant, you come here, probably the public perception is that you need to be patient. You need to wait. You need to wait for sometimes for decades or sometimes for generations. And the reality is that we don't want to be patient. We don't want to wait because we want to have our house. We want to have our businesses. We want to contribute. We want to be able to provide some wealth and transfer this wealth to our kids because that's the reason why we came here, not to be patient. Want to be patient, we can stay where we are. But the whole system has been always telling us that you have enough just to survive another year, that you have enough to. So when suddenly institutions, treasury, super wealthy donors start seeing that through economic development is how you can start really building communities. It's time for us to realize that we don't need to be patient. We don't want to be patient. We need to realize that we are the solution that our community is looking for. We were started by our own leaders in our community because nobody was able to open an account for us. And now everybody's looking for the Latino market in North Carolina. You know what? Too late. Too late.
Okay, so you heard him say he's been here 21 years and he don't want to be patient. You heard him say he don't want to wait. You heard him say they've got 136 countries represented, in their credit union. You heard him say we're about to be 800 million strong. Do you realize the black bank down here in Southern California had to join and partner with a black bank in DC somewhere? They had to merge just to get $1 billion in assets. He had 700 million. A Latina credit union. Okay? And guess what the Freedmen Bank Forum gave him so he could be closer to $1 billion on his damn own after being here 21 years. They gave him $100 million. And the brother that spoke before him, I think that Black Maryland bank got 70 million. And who do you think these black banks are lending to? How many freed black people do you know that are getting loans, which they should be grants anyway, from the Freedmen Bank Forum, sponsored by Kabami and Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary? But y'all want to keep showing up voting blue no matter damn who. When these immigrants, they didn't come to play. I need to find that feed. I'm gonna save my bank, my Jimmy Dore piece. I'm gonna save the judges and the money being poured into the militarized race soldiers to execute us and gentrify us right up out our communities. I'm gonna come back for that segment because I don't want to rush it. Okay, and my baby girl will be pulling up from track practice shortly. We're super excited. She's getting her braces off today, so it's a big deal. But anyway, I digress. I just want to stay here until she gets here and we can have an exchange. But I did want to talk about it because I want to pull up when Pelosi was speaking to the illegal immigrants. Okay, she was speaking to the illegal immigrants that were ready to tear her. They illegally in the country. You understand what I'm telling you? 11 million illegals. It wasn't 11 million at this particular press conference, but she was there and they were ready to take her head off because they want it now. And the Joe Crow administration acts like our demands for reparations that all these Mickey Ficky groups eat from. He don't even want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, but he's got no problem. Uh-oh, y'all, where'd y'all go? He's got no problem giving away our reparations and protections to very, very self-interested, self-invested Latinas who identify as white, who are now our white supremacist oppressors in elected office. Hello, Acacia, what's her name? Cortez, whatever the hell. Okay, these are the people that are now being put in place to be our POC white oppressors. You got Africans and Caribbeans who are getting office telling us that slavery was so long ago, we need to move on and forget about it. Right? You got white folks sitting up here talking about who do we owe and what for? It's just comical. The bullshit in my feed for my broadcast, telling on every goddamn body and not giving a ish, okay? Excuse my language. My mouth gets a little potty sometimes. I'm going to try to watch it. But the bottom line, family, is that they are insisting on what is owed to them. They're not waiting. And we've been over here, what? Since before 1619? Our ancestors built the infrastructure with their lives, and we continue to vote for the Joe Crows, for the crooked Hilleries with 3 Ks, the Joe Crows with 3 Ks, the Kabamis with 3 Ks, who like to play that black card when it's time to get the black vote. We continue to allow ourselves to be used, and folks looking at me crazy. Not y'all. Many of y'all hear me and understand the need for weaponizing this vote, and I'm grateful to you. But this is a message that needs to go viral. While you're playing, we are out of time. This is all we got left. And guess what? They're trying to take even this. They want you to suppress your own vote. They want you to stay home. Just like they love planting weapons in our communities and starving folks out where their only outlet is to sell drugs. Okay, their only outlet is to sell drugs, and then they get into turf wars. The police even get involved in those while calling it black on black crime and murder that they created. Oh, child, the ghetto. Okay, I see. Who else? Did somebody? Because my
Yeah, you got me laughing over here too. You
oh
already
my
know.
God, it is a hot ass buttery mess. Go ahead. I'm gonna pull up this one on Pelosi with them on her head so y'all can hear it. And you go ahead, insane optimism, and bless the mic.
Yeah, thank you. I'm honored to do so. Yeah, this thing about Durham is really it really offers an ability for us to put this thing under a microscope, especially with the stuff you're saying. I just posted again something in the Jumbotron about a bank named Mechanics and Farmers. It was established in 1907 by black men. There's no reason that money isn't going through that bank. Now they're put in a position where they have to compete with that Latino credit union. I'm in Chapel Hill. Durham is 15 minutes away. I used to spend a lot of time in Durham, and that Latino credit union has over the last 10 years become a force because the footprint has grown and grown and grown. You can see the bank growing. Mechanic and Farmers, it's been there, but it should be exploding with them handing out money like this. That money should be going through Mechanics and Farmers Bank. But instead of that, Kamala Harris and Janet Yellen have this thing. They stand in front of this phony banner and talk about reestablishing the Freedmen's Bureau as if a physical building does not exist in Charleston that has the name of the bank etched in the facade. Why not go there? They did not go there because they would have had to reveal that the Freedmen's Bank Bureau was for the people who were formerly enslaved. It's like they're pulling a cheap trick on the American public because most people don't know that there are remnants of that program, physical remnants that are still standing today. So what they did with that photo op press conference they had was they gave the illusion that they were going to start the Freedmen's Bank Bureau. No, it's been in existence. You could have gone down there and stood in front of the building and said, hey, we're going to start this thing up again. But then you would have had to say it's going to be for black people. She would have had to say it's going to be for descendants of slaves. So it's a con game, and there's some stuff about the Mechanic and Farmers Bank in the Jumbotron. Please familiarize yourself. You will see that it was started by some prominent black individuals in Durham.
I thank you for blessing the mic. Listen here, family. I wanted to play that for you so you could understand what I'm trying to spare you. I'm trying to spare the South from what's coming for your head. New York, Jersey, Philly. I don't know about Philly as much, but Cali definitely has been through what y'all about to go through. And folks want to sit up here and dream about all of us coming back there and having power when you've got Yellen and Kabami with 3 Ks giving away our reparations, 40 going north to the immigrants and to line their own pockets. Weaponizing, because Yellen, like Joe Crow, when he was over there in Tulsa, those survivors have yet to see reparations. I think they gave them $100,000 a piece, y'all. They literally burnt down their Black Wall Street, killed their people, and the government was complicit, and they gave them $100,000. But I digress. Joe Crow went down there, and they love to give pretty speeches about the horrors and the never-ending Holocaust that we're currently living, and then turn around and either do nothing for American freedmen, or they're giving it away to reparations, to immigrants and to white folks to line their pockets. This is the same thing. Janet Yellen opened, and you can look this up on ScrewTube. It's the Freedmen Bank Forum. That's why I love that we now here in Southern California, in the state, we have disaggregated this data. So this government at every branch can see the horrors that they've leveled at our heads to make us bottom caste in the country of our ancestors. We're holding the public sector is being held accountable to these numbers first, so we can see the discrimination in the numbers. You don't get to now continue to flood the zone with Black immigrants and talk about how well we're doing, when we've got the 2014 Color of Wealth LA report, and now we got data disaggregation. Now we in 2022, post the pandemic. What do you think those numbers are now? That's why we're down from 17 to 2.2 million in the state. And what I'm trying to do in invoking my Freedmen voter strategy that came to me in prayer after being led to the guillotine by folks that act and pretend like they know better for us, telling us to go out here and vote this bullshiggity into office. I'm trying to give all of them their walking papers. And while I'm on the subject, can you tell me what Trump has done akin to these policies to oppress American freedmen? And yet 86% of our electorate thought it a novel idea to replace a racist in office of 4 years with no record against American freedmen, with racist plural in office a combined 60 years with records against freed people several New York City blocks long. This is what 86% of our electorate thought was novel. Well, we don't have Trump. He tweets mean things and called Africa, who sold us, by the way, a shithole country of the horror. No, this of what I'm sharing with you is far more horrific. This is them dumping the cargo, us, our ancestors, into the motherfucking ocean, the ones that did not jump. And tragically, the Democrats, by way of immigration, have become the guillotine and the repugnant clans, the gas chamber. Let me play this for you with them going on Pelosi's head. These ungrateful, illegal immigrants in the country. Listen to this.
Thank you for your vision. Now I want to you've asked questions. You've asked questions. You have some. These guys. Can we have a second, please? Okay, you've asked your question. I'm going to respond.
So, this is what these illegal, they call themselves the dreamers. This is what they are importing into this country as our people continue to sheep walk to the polls. What do you think these 11 million are going to do to American freedmen once they outnumber us, on top of the ones who already are legal in this country? What do you think they're going to be doing to American freedmen but becoming the same white supremacist oppressors in office, in the police force, in the classroom? And like I said, in DC, they got 40% of our Black children that can't go back to school because they refuse the venom. So you're sending them home where they lack the resources to really learn. Because what you're really creating is more people for the not so new slavery in the private prison industrial complex. More folks to get kidnapped, to have their organs harvested, to be traded into the sex trades. Look at how many of our young Black boys and girls, men and women, are missing. Some of them are killed, and when the parents get the bodies back, the organs are missing. But I'm the crazy one for invoking a Freedmen voter strategy. Not for many of you in here. I'm sure there's some that are watching that want to weigh in, and you're free to weigh in. But I'm standing on my square. I'm being revolutionary like our ancestors. I've got the backbone and the cojones of our ancestors because I got a daughter to lead this shithole country to. Because it ain't shit unless you do right by the American freedmen descendant of U.S. chattel slavery. Did anyone else want to? Oh, I see a hand. Let me see. Hold on, baby. Let me see who you are. Okay, FBA Empress, I'm going to give you a follow. Go ahead and bless the mic.
Thank you, Sister Reparationist Perspective. First of all, that was super powerful. That was crazy. And you are 100% right. No, you are not crazy, sis. And I know a lot of us feel like that. You might be the only person in your family that's talking about this, but this is our lives. It is an emergency. Like what we're doing, it's an emergency because our children are at stake. Our future is at stake. And all of these things matter. And I'm just blessed to be here. Thank you for letting me speak. I just wanted to really quick just piggyback on what you were saying about like the vote and let's just get it involved. So I saw this and I'm posting this. I just left the space and post the same thing. So all of my Detroit family, apparently they're putting together a reparations task force in Detroit. And I posted it in the Jumbotron. That's really why I wanted to get the speaker, just to post this. But they're talking about, they have the requirements, there's 2 requirements I think that you live in Detroit for 6 to 10 years. But they have all kinds of categories, whether you're a young representative, an elderly person, everybody can apply. They're talking about all are encouraged to apply. We know what that means, right? All are encouraged. We don't need all. We need our freedmen people in these positions on these task force to do this job and speak for us. I don't want immigrants speaking for us. I don't want non-freedmen speaking for us. So if y'all can check that out, maybe y'all know where to go, hook up with somebody in Detroit and get on top of that task force. I think you can apply to October the 10th. I think that's the date, but it's in the Jumbotron family. Please, we cannot have another California situation with immigrants and Asians on the task force. We need us to represent us. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for letting me speak.
You are so welcome, sis. Let me respond to my beautiful sister that just blessed the mic. I can't see y'all's names without my Walmart readers, but I'm feeling every bit of the love in the room. I do need you guys really, because they're shadow banning me over at ScrewTube. They done shut my channel down over some bullshit. I really need, when you get a window, Kite has put my the Reparationist Perspective channel up in the Jumbotron. Child, I'll learn all this kind of stuff inevitably. But I wanted to speak to you, sis, because I'm super proud of what you guys are doing. Do understand that you got forces and powers that be, that if you're not at that reparations task force table, you will be on the menu. Just take a look at what happened in Evanston. You got Pan-Africanists, Narcan and Cobra sitting over there getting in the way of reparations and locking us out of access to our own table. That's not just happening in Evanston. It's happening on a federal level with this empty HR 40 that we've been working to shut down. And it's been working seamlessly because we've got Joe Crow in office and he don't give a damn about no HR 40. But that HR 40 is designed to give more programs with the left and take away to give to these other groups with the right. As for the California Reparations Task Force, shout out to CJEC, who I worked with for a spell to get the AB 3121 signed by Ice Cube in the 11th hour. Newsom did not want to do that, family. Ice Cube put that pressure on him. And Ice Cube, I give him a little bit of a side eye till I understand who that $100 million is that he's working with the NFL to bless Black businesses. Which Black businesses? And if YC taught us nothing else, she taught us how to ask, who the fuck are you? And see, so they were saying, oh, don't talk about immigration, da, 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 da. Yes, because they want you to sit quietly on the guillotine. You see, they don't want you speaking up exclusively for freed Black. Because why? Folks have been on our titties from the time they dragged us over here in chains. So I'm trying to impress upon you that we only had one say on that task force. That was Chairwoman Camila Moore. She was out of CJEC. She was out of our org down here. And she was the person that we got in. She was our golden ticket. And she makes me proud every time she stands 10 toes down because she's a lawyer in international law. And she specifically knows reparations and what we're owed and how to get that accomplished. As far as the other agents of chaos, of course, this is what they like to do, especially here in California. But truth be told, fam, because we are predominantly immigrant now, sadly, we're going to need the votes of the Hispanics who are in office down here, the Asians who are in office down here. We're going to need their buy-in to get this done. And we're very, very close. Disaggregating the data to make sure we are seen down here has been huge. That was a huge recent victory, along with lineage-based reparations. And let me help you with something. You're going to have to enlist all the grassroots throughout the country. So please inbox me, and I can help you with whom to get in touch with that can help you get the right folks prayerfully on that task force. You've got to understand that the governor had 3 picks, and a couple of other elected officials had 3 picks. And we got one of ours in there. We put up, I want to say, a good 6 people we tried to push through to get on that task force. But we got Camila, and she was the best thing to ever happen to the task force. I also want to thank all the other grassroots throughout the country. When I sound the alarm, when I scream, when I broadcast the live task force hearings, you guys came in record numbers to support us. Your voices weighing in on lineage-based reparations, it helped us to win the victory by a very narrow margin. That was a 5-4 vote. But we were on their heads every month for a year. And now you guys can go to the California State site and you can literally download the 500-page preliminary report. We're going to have final proposals come out next year, and prayerfully it will be with a lot of Skrilla in it. But yes, sis, I just had to congratulate you on getting that task force in Detroit, because right now ain't nothing but immigrants running the D. I cannot believe my eyes. Some woman named Talib or something like that, and some Indian man. They just got elected over in the D. The Motor City of all places is run by these immigrants, child. And that ain't gonna be nothing nice if we continue to allow them to make those type of advances. So thank you. I'll land there and allow someone else to bless the mic. Let's see here. Who? Okay.
Hey, Lotto Larry.
Okay, bless the mic. I don't see you, but go ahead.
Lotto, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Hey, after that, we'll do a American with the hearts, okay? Go ahead, Lotto.
You go ahead and call it, because I can't see. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say it's a great space. The reparations perspective. I like your voice. I like what you got to say, and I also wanted to say that I agree with you on the nuances and how we're going to try to, work this voting thing. A lot of us are boycotting the vote, and I actually empathize with what they're trying to do. But one of the things I had an issue with, I was in a space the other day, and we have a lot of folks who are chastising people in these spaces for trying to engage the system. Because once you boycott the vote, let's say that works, and you send out your message that you're not going to vote for anything other than reparations, what comes next? And I was talking about my challenge right now. I'm engaging my community, and I've pretty much written off, baby boomers and folks who just vote, blue no matter who. I'm talking to poor, poor black folks, working class black folks who feel disillusioned with the system because I feel like the only thing that I got left is numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like all I have is numbers. And I feel like it's upon me that now that I'm listening to folks like you, Miss Reparations Perspective, and folks like Ross from the DMV, I feel like I'm more aware and I feel like it's my responsibility. So I want your voice to get louder. I want you to talk more because I got a little frustrated the other day when I'll give you an example. A gentleman said, I'm not going to vote and this, that, and the third. I was like, okay. But he says, but I'm going to go in, I'm going to write in my vote. And I said, well, you got to be careful about that because, certain states requires, a voter, a candidate to be registered properly. And some states don't even allow that. Your vote won't get counted. And then he started shutting me down. Like, I'm not engaging. I'm not engaging. I said, okay, bro, you sound smug as hell, right? You sound smug. You don't sound like you really understand what you're talking about. And I said, why are you going to go if your vote's not going to be counted? Like, what's the point in that? So we got folks out here who are prominent, unfortunately, within the reparation space, making spaces and talking people down about trying to engage the system. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope your voice gets louder. Again, I am not against people who are uh, necessarily boycotting the vote for this election or maybe the next to send a message, but what do we do after that? And then I got crickets. I was like, what do we do after that? So thank you for letting me speak.
Oh man, thank you for sharing. I'm a DJ Kite. I'm going to actually respond as God gives me stuff to the dome to share with my beautiful family over here, my tribe. I love y'all, Black and Straw. Thank you, brother, for sharing. Yes, you're absolutely right, which is why I created this space. I am going to have my pedal to the metal on this issue now. I've been doing this for a few years, so please make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications on ScrewTube, who currently is muffling and trying to silence my voice. They're just grasping at straws, and they claim I'll get my channel back in 4 days. We shall see. But as I was approaching 1,000 subs, I want to say I've got a modest 45,000 views, but the bottom line is I'm being shadow banned, family. And you see how radical my message is. You see how radical I am. I rise for American freedmen, full stop, period. No apologies given here. I don't give a damn what I'm called, etc. And you've got to get this way with the people, and you've got to speak to people who have the eyes to see and the ears to hear to partake of the fruit of the Spirit. Sadly, too many of our sheeple, especially the boomers, with very few exceptions, are getting in the freaking way of what the Gen Xers and the millennials are insisting on. And I want to just stress, I know some of you are new to the space, and I'm going to land momentarily so my other hands can go, but do understand this. Do understand that we are out of time. All this nonsense about staying home are people who are quite frankly politically lazy, and they're not operating with the strategy. When you stay home or you vote third party, let me help you understand that you are leaving the fate of our lineage in the hands of immigrants who seek to replace us and the Crayola white supremacy in this country, because it is Crayola, that hate us. So that's what you're pretty much sitting up on your ass, staying at home, instead of engaging in spaces like this. You're listening to folks with bigger platforms than mine foolishly walk you right in front of the firing squad called the Democratic Party. It is time to serve them their firing papers. They should not be paid in the millions to extinct our line. And that's exactly what happens. I hear them screaming louder about the children getting offended at Sesame Place than I do reparations and an end to qualified immunity. And the only way to make them pay is with the power of the very thing that we will no longer have power for if we don't show up in Obama-style numbers come the midterm. That's your vote. They have neutralized us economically. All this getting up and moving south with what? And what job are you going to get when the South is just as complicit? I just played for you the Freedmen Bank Farm where the man said we're giving mortgages to our people. We damn near $1 billion strong on our own thanks to the $100 million that the Freedmen Bank Farm gave to our credit union. We got 136 ethnicities up in this piece, 136 countries represented in the country our ancestors built with their lives. We are out of time. I've been pushing my Freedmen voter strategy. I'm grateful to those of you who hear me, who support me, who will adhere, who will have the backbone and the kahunas to do as God has given me to prescribe as a solution for the people. That is to vote for closed border Congress, closed border candidates only. And Greg Marcel Dixon, District 6, South Carolina, to unseat the Coon Clobber. Now, I know y'all say he can't win, but guess where we're winning? That reparations argument, because that brother throws down every time he bless the mic. And you need to bless his campaign, and you need to bless his Cash App. Those white glacier donkeys in South Carolina would not renew his teacher's contract. Never not one complaint in all the years he's been a teacher. And because he ran on a reparations platform, they got rid of it. I'm imploring upon each and every one of you to bless that brother's Cash App, and I'm going to give it to you momentarily. But we need to cover that brother like MLK was covered, like Malcolm was covered before, of course, the FBI got involved. Listen, I'm here to tell you that if Marcel can't continue to run every election cycle at our expense, it's a wrap, because they want to put this under the rug and they want to fight harder for us to suck our babies out of our wombs than they do for us to have economic advantage and an end to qualified immunity, while these illegals are demanding their rights. The legal immigrants are demanding their rights. You heard them. I just played it for you. So let me give you Marcel's Cash App and we'll go to the next hand. I thank you all for joining the live. I want to give you his Cash App.
May I ask a quick question while you do that?
Yes, baby, go ahead.
Is this state by state? I'm sorry, I'm ignorant. When is the latest that we can register to vote for the midterm?
Baby, I don't know, because you know they always moving the goddamn bar. I don't know who is doing what and where. All I can do is here in the state, I'm registered as an independent. This ain't a party thing. It's a Freedmen flourishing thing, okay? We got to slow the Titanic down because the Democrats got us against the ropes. Now, so everybody got to check your own state. You got to research the people that are running at every level.
Okay.
And you can't stay home. So, baby, find out, do the little research. Google is great. But I don't know from every state what's going on. I'm trying to save the $2 million down here in California, baby. So please look that up, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
All right, my love. Thank you for being here. Okay, you got somebody else bless the mic. I'm going to look up Marcel, and I need somebody to type it in the Jumbotron. You know I don't know what I'm doing yet, DJ. So I'm going to look that up, and then I'm going to text it to you, and then you put it in the Jumbotron for me, okay?
All right.
All right, thank you. And whoever's next, please call them because I can't see them.
For sure. Go ahead, American. Before you go, Sister Gold, you got to go register to vote right now. You know, there's no time, but tomorrow to go do it, go down to your actual, hopefully I'm still in here and y'all can hear me. Go down to your actual polling voter registration office and go file that application to be registered to vote. It don't matter what side you pick right now, but we ain't voting for the Democrats. So it don't matter if you register to be a Democrat, we ain't fucking with the Democrats because we about to flood this motherfucker red because the Republicans, as sister say, is the only motherfucking jokers that's gonna close the door.
No,
So
tell them to do
that.
independent. If you can
Independent. There you go.
They can see us defecting from the Democratic Party. They need to feel that. And that's another reason why I need y'all at the polls, not at home, not voting third party. I need to let them see the American freedmen, bring them to their motherfucking knees for several election cycles. This ain't the first one. It won't be the last. We got to make them feel this and let everybody be in the same distress that American freedmen are whenever we've got a trifecta. So I think DJ is absolutely right. Kite is absolutely right. If you're not registered, get registered. We got a whole lineage to save, and this is an uphill battle. So go ahead, DJ, let the next person speak, and I'm going to listen while I send you the stuff, okay?
Yeah, go ahead, America.
Okay, thank you, DJ Segwan. This is Quante, Angela. Thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have never got a chance to get in there on that task force and be able to let them have it and let them know we're watching the way you lay. So I want to say thank you for that. We was at it. You had it going every time, and thank you. Next thing I want to say, guys, is that it's funny that every other group is pushing us not to be snitches. They're pushing us not to be in law enforcement. They're pushing us not to take these jobs that they say is against minorities or blacks or whatever you want to say. But it's funny that majority of Latinos are police officers. What's up? Majority of these other groups are police officers, and they are ICE officers, and they are the Border Patrol. And I'm gonna tell you something else that I found out. Do y'all understand that they
the
are
immigration lawyers too?
but what's up? And hold on, they're not even. Let me tell you how sad it is. They're not even citizens doing this stuff, y'all. The Border Patrol are not citizens. It's deep. It's a dirty ass game. Just like they playing this. I'm sorry to cut. Sorry. It's a dirty doggone game. Just like they playing us with this gang culture stuff. If you notice, with the gang culture, it's like, okay, we're separate from them. No, y'all not. Y'all the same people that's in this game. So basically, they're making it look like it's two different worlds, even though they intertwine. They do it a lot here in California as well. They play that, hey, I'm not like them, or hey, since we're out here, I'm able to talk to you and we're able to be friends. But when we go in, I gotta adhere to the white supremacies, Anglos, and other Mexicans. So I can't sit by you. But when I get out, I can break bread with you. No, you're a snitch. You always been a snitch. And you gotta remember, guys, when it comes to Black Negroes, what they say, we ain't gotta respect them. So remember, I'm in Missouri, and that was Dred Scott when they said that niggas' rights. What do you say? I ain't gotta respect that. That's how they really truly feel. But they laugh in your face. You know, they do one thing. They talk out of both sides of their necks, right? And we're seeing it a lot with the gang culture. You know, making it seem like that's them over there. Just like with the Jewish community. Hey, I'm not white. I'm Jewish. I'm Jewish. Come on, quit playing us. We're waking up, and I love that we're waking up. YC, you know who I'm talking about. You guys probably already know. She said one thing, well, a lot of things that I agree with. She didn't block me. That's cool. There's a lot that went on. But thank you. I give her roses for what you have done, because I would have never met this young lady, Miss Angela. I would have never met Roz from the DMV, and many, many, many more. So it's a blessing. She said, when I throw a chair, you throw a chair. And it's time for us to truly start throwing these chairs, because they're trying to stop us from getting our just due. They want us KILLED. And that's what's up. And we don't believe it until it happens. I know one thing about my folks. Two things I know about my folks. And people use that against you when they know too much about you. You're a Democrat and you're a Christian. So only thing you're going to start forgiving me, I can shoot you in your head right now. And when you get well, you're going to start talking about, you're going to pray for me and forgive me. 9 times out of 10, they know us so doggone well. I can hurt your child in front of you, spit on her and do some other stuff to her or him. And next thing you're going to tell me is that, you know what? God is on my heart. So therefore, with that being stated, guys, it's time to play this game the way it should have been played a long time ago. We have been dogged out and foolishly ruined in our faces. These Democrats, because that's what they are, set us up. They set us up. And I'm not going to say that, but anyway, they set us up. We're waking up. And I'm glad to see it, because they was going to take us out. We was on life support. But something happened, guys. Something happened when we started moving. And they hated to see us move. Like, what the hell? Why is she moving? Y'all ain't going to pull a plug? Y'all ain't going to pull a plug on her? She just said she ain't breathing. Or they said this group ain't breathing. Then all of a sudden, our eyes start opening up a little bit. And right now we're in recovery, because we're walking slowly, right? Because we've been through a lot, and come to find out you poisoned me. You set me up to die. He's gonna leave you. Hold on, and they so dirty. Democrats so dirty. They was gonna pay for your funeral with your reparations. I'm out. Thank you.
Oh wait,
She blessed the mic right there.
that was
Thank
powerful.
you, Sis Star. Who's next, DJ?
Hold on one second. Coming out the matrix. Coming out the matrix. Go ahead, Professor. And that was fire, sister. That was fire. Yeah. Mhm.
Yes, thank you again, DJ, and thank you again, Sister Reparations Perspective. One thing I will say that I'm going to announce some good news here, just a little bit of good news, because we all want these illegals up out of here, and I mean we want them out of here as soon as possible, like quick, like yesterday, quick. Apparently, they do have a national operation going on right now. ICE has announced that they are on a national operation since June, trying to collect up all these illegal sex offenders that's in the country. They have gathered, from my understanding, like 300 so far. So they working to get some of these jokers out here, and they need to get all of them out of here, to be honest with you. But I just wanted to put that out there, y'all, that they do have an operation going on right now, a national operation to try to get some of these illegals out of here, because there's a ton of them here that are sex offenders.
Is anything we can do?
If you see one, if you know one, call ICE, because I know that's what I'm going to do. I'm in Alabama. I know we got a lot of illegals here. Now, we don't have the issue going on such as out in California, up in Washington, D.C.,
Yet, my
and
friend.
other places.
Yet is the operative word. Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. Yet. But I'm telling you, I'm going to do my part to call ICE anytime I see one of these illegal motherfuckers around here. And because you never know what they might be into. These jokers might be MS-13s, sex offenders, all kinds of criminal stuff.
Drug cartel, lacing
cartel.
our drugs in our community, killing us off.
Yes, that's right. So I say to everyone in this room, if you see one and you know that he could be potentially illegal, call ICE. Call your local sheriffs. Call all of them. Because they sure be trying to call on us when we out just trying to live life. Well, you know, I could be out washing my car. Here comes somebody calling the police just because I'm washing my damn car. What kind of shit is that? You know, that's crazy. You can't even go into your own house.
They have criminalized our blackness. They have
Yes.
criminalized it, and
Yes, your blackness.
and it's up for execution. That
Yes,
is
it
the
is.
plan. These are ethno-genocidal plans. Like I would implore everyone who wants to push back on my Freedmen voter strategy, tell me in Trump's policies where we have been this aggrieved in his whole 4 years. I'm happy if you could just put it in the Jumbotron if you are in opposition to what I presented to you today. And I really hope y'all can stay up and come back, because when I come back from the dentist, I'm going to really bring you the main event with the bullshiggity of these judges that Joe Crow has nominated that are nothing but straight bull cunner. You hear me? As folks sit up here talk about Trump, and then I want to talk about this $37 billion. So I'm going to come back a little later when I get home from my daughter's dental appointment, and I will put together a little reminder, but it'll be later tonight. I definitely got to get that segment in. I just didn't want to rush it in this, but yeah, fam. Like I mentioned, this Freedmen voter strategy is to help the places that have not been inflicted, like the DMV, like New York, like California, with this immigration policy. But let me help you understand something, family. Both sides are guilty. That's why you have to look for America First candidates. They're not going to say closed border Congress, because they're both guilty. It's just that the repugnant clans have to placate to their white supremacists who they embolden. They're poor as church mice, you know, not as poor as our people, but they're not balling out of control, but their whiteness makes them feel superior. So trust and believe that they can't be as egregious as the Democratic Party. But what the Democratic Party does is that it panders to those repugnant clan voters who are maybe anti-Trump or, you know, just mad at the direction the repugnant clans are going. And so they love when he comes to Congress while we have a trifecta to ask for $37 billion for more militarized race soldiers to come into our communities and execute us with impunity. They love this kind of stuff where he sits up here and repeals 15 million out of 9.2 billion that was supposed to go to the black farmers. They love that. They'd rather see everybody get nothing than to see us have a hot damn thing. Okay? So no, you're forgiven if you use a little potty mouth, because my mouth is a little potty too. But I'm gonna land there because I see little, oh, my glasses.
Yeah, light alive.
Okay, go ahead, fam. Go ahead.
Can I just interrupt real quick? I know, Lytle, one second. I just want to piggyback on what you were saying, Miss Reparations perspective. This is not family a sprint. It is a marathon. When we think about the civil rights, and if Emmett Till's death was the kickoff of the civil rights, that happened in 1955. The civil rights bill didn't get approved till 1964. You're talking about almost 10 years. So like the reparationist perspective was saying, it might take a few election cycles. We got to be in this for the long run. We can never forget all these events. We got to keep abreast of all these activities, and we got to stay on it and stay hard no matter how long it takes. It may take a couple election cycles, but that's all right. That's all I wanted to say. Go ahead, Lytle. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That's actually a great point. I agree with that. Miss Reparations perspective, I have a question for you and for the room if anybody wants to chime in. What do you think is the best strategy for? Well, first of all, I want to ask you, where can I read about your voting strategy? I was going through your profile. I must have overlooked it. I would like to definitely read it if you have a website or something. But also want to ask you, in terms of me engaging my local community and certain family members who who I can tell are kind of engaged, who believe in reparations, but I just got to kind of convince them that it's possible. Um, what do you suggest how I approach that in terms of convincing them that it's possible? Because what I'm getting is that they'd be with it. They just don't believe, the system will work for them. And I feel like if I could just figure out a way to break through that, we could have so many people, um, you know, with us and to increase our numbers when it's time to hold these people accountable for reparations. I'll give you an example. I was speaking. One of the things I found out is if I start talking about the 6.5 quadrillion, they completely shut down. They don't believe that at all. But when I start talking about like Senate bill in Oregon 423 in perpetuity and land grants, I got a better response from that. So it seems I just have to make the tangible seem possible and not really talk about the higher numbers. I just wanted to get a suggestion from anybody because this is something that I'm really trying to work on moving forward.
Thank you for your question. And I've got some heavyweights, I'm sure, in here somewhere. I think I saw a couple of my comrades in this movement. They can weigh in and share with you how they see it as well. But for me, family, there is folks are sitting up here acting as if they will ever get tangibles, continuing to vote blue no matter damn who. That's that damn Barack Obama train of hope and change. None of that landed. It didn't trickle down to the American freedmen whatsoever. As a matter of fact, he did more harm than he did good when he sat up there and was an emphatic, enthusiastic no to reparations. Because, of course, how would the white folks and the immigrants feel about that? So for folks to be sitting up here telling you, I'm not voting, I'm going to withhold the vote or stay home until we get tangibles, they're being politically lazy. And you can't be afraid to shame them, okay? You can't spend a whole lot of time on folks like that because they're very, very committed to being politically lazy. Now, after we were told to go vote blue down the freaking ticket, okay, last election cycle, dim down ballot, which is how we got here, which is why I'm hotter than fish grease, okay, which is why I'm scorched earth. I had to go into prayer about what that strategy would be. And after I prayed about it, what I deduced is instead of withholding the vote until someone give you tangible, when neither party ever intend to give you tangible, and the one party that owes you tangible is doing the puckery that I've just displayed in this feed here, you've got to vote in your best interest. What does that look like, Miss Reparationist Perspective? I'm so glad you asked. What that looks like is closing these motherfucking borders. Party be damned. Forgive my colorful language. I'm not cursing at you. I'm cursing at my frustration. Anywho, anywho, like I was saying, we must tell our people that if they stay home and be politically lazy, if they vote a third party and they don't go straight down the motherfucking middle and vote for closed border candidates, then they are going to leave the fate of our line in the hands of immigrants who seek to replace us and Crayola white supremacy that hates us down to our pinky toe. They want us dead. They're angry that when we fought and won our emancipation, that the very cracker Abe Lincoln was not able to expatriate us, you see. They used our ancestors through the worst heinous chattel slavery to build the infrastructure of this God-forsaken country with 3 Ks. And then they wanted to throw away the shoes so that they could enjoy the land that our ancestors built, you see. And so they're hotter than fish grease that when that didn't work, and Sherman gave us the 40 acres and a mule, and Andrew Johnson's skank ass took it away and gave 100 years of a Homestead Act to the white immigrants, the white slaveholders and the white immigrants, to get, you know, a 500-year head start, you see. They're angry that we survived that. Let me finish. I'm almost landed. They're angry that we survived it, family. They're angry and they want us dead and they don't care who kills us. They don't even care if some of their poor whites have to be sacrificed. They don't give a damn. They just want our heads on platters, because guess what we went and did? We pulled ourselves up by our bootless straps and we built 50 Black Wall Streets. So, the voter strategy, no, it's not written anywhere, because folks is constantly telling me, you telling folks what the strategy is. Well, hell, if I don't tell people what the strategy is, how do we build a critical mass? Exactly does that happen? How does that happen if I'm not in these spaces sharing with the people what to do? So I'm going to continue to sound the alarm. Y'all going to get to hear my big old mouth, because every time I hit them 300 lives over in my screw tube, I was always making the case for reparations and making the case for weaponizing our vote and socializing our suffering. Because when the Democrats have a trifecta, American freedmen are the only ones in distress. I hope I answered your question.
I'm gonna listen to that, to your voter strategy as soon as we get off this space. Thank you so much.
Hey, Lido, I tagged you in a couple posts just getting the Jumbotron. Go to Sister's YouTube page. There are 300 videos there. So won't you have a reparationist perspective party at your crib? You know what I mean? You all can sit there and get the knowledge and get the wealth. They're trying to shadow ban Sister over there on the screw tube. So make sure y'all go support her to try to get her to this 1,000 subscribers, because she should have had it by now. But we feel that they are, well, we don't feel, we know they playing with the numbers, just like they play over here on Twitter with the Twitter spaces, not letting certain people up. But I also feel that's a phone issue on some of our parts as well. You feel what I'm saying? So get in the Jumbotron. The information is there. And like I said, I tagged you. And FBA Vader, if you want to come up on the mic, come on, bro. Or fam.
Yeah, I just want to spread a couple messages. First, let me just say peace, reparations, deportations, and delineation. First of all, they are fucking with our phones, man. I'm a network engineer, and I've never had network issues in my home until I downloaded this fucking app on my phone. So there's something funny going on with this Twitter app. I don't know what it is, but you know, I ripped apart my network just to find that the only phone that's getting kicked off my network, or the only device on my network, is my phone. So whatever it is, it's this damn app. Anyway, Yeah,
Hey, you can get with me in the background. I'll hit you with some information that may be able to help you, bro.
yeah. So I'm definitely gonna follow this sister. I just walked into this room and I love what you got to say. And you know, I've been up till this very point, I've been saying, you know, don't vote for any candidate that's not talking about our policies. But you're right. Like we literally have to now, along with reparations, we gotta be about these deportations. We gotta be about like closing these fucking borders because we are being replaced. And so, you know, as of like 5 seconds ago, I've changed my platform to include voting to close these goddamn borders. That's all I gotta say. Thank you.
Can I just say something real quick? So we had Miss Tara Perry in here, and that's what I was. I'm so sorry, whoever was just speaking, FBA Vader. I was going to ask if y'all could get her up on the speaker box because I know that she's a politician or ish or whatever, and she's a Democrat. Her what she's saying ain't what y'all saying. You hear what I'm saying? And I wanted to see if she was going to come up and speak and see her position on this whole weaponizing our vote, but she just left out. Dang. But if y'all can talk to her and if you engage her, ask her because this message right here, this is the message. This to me, weaponizing our vote is what we're supposed to do. And I know that what I've heard of her ain't been with that. You know what I'm saying? She's pushing the HR 40.
Hey, pause right there, sis, and that's what I wanted to say. That's why she left the room.
You think so? Okay.
No, so don't think so. No, so there's a
Okay.
difference. You know what I mean? Because she was up here for a while prior to you came up here. So what was the reason why? Whatever reason why she might have left or dropped out, and not accusing. But Tyra ain't no fool to this technical stuff. She could have requested the mic, and I know who she is, and I'm pretty sure most of us know who she is and what she do. So at the end of the day, speaking of HR 40, the same people that's promoting HR 40 is the same ones that's against your ass because HR 40 ain't nothing but a damn study. They ain't got nothing to do with cash payments and how other folks or immigrants, throughout the 100 years since the Reconstruction era have gotten paid some type of land settlement reparations. We're the only ones that ain't got no money for the 250 years of slavery, 150 years of Jim Crow still counting, and we still going through the bullshit, as Sister be saying. So Tyra could come up here and speak whenever she feel like it, but request her to come back. That's all.
But we'll see. I was just wondering, but yeah, you make an interesting point. Why would you leave? But yeah, that's why I was just wondering if she wanted to say something because which what I've heard her say ain't what the sister reparationist perspective is talking about. It's not the same message at all.
Again, for the record, get in the Jumbotron right there on the far right-hand side. Reparationist Perspective YouTube channel. It's 300 videos over there. And I guarantee by the time you watch one of them, you won't be even friends with Tyra Perry, probably. Because I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, here's how I see things. You know what I mean? I see my brother Greg Black State down there. And I know, trying to introduce and intertwine our reparationist Black State of America, CPS folks, immigration reformers folks, like FBA Vader said. I'm trying to pull our people together, the right ones. You feel what I'm saying? This is why I don't be up on the spaces like that anymore, because I see it's high school antics. Only people that want to control the narrative. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to control the narrative, because if that was the case, I'd just be putting out my own information, wanting lend a helping hand to help no fucking body. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, I've done more for Marcel as a candidate. I live in Jersey. I'm not in his district of North South Carolina. I've done more for him as a candidate running on the reparations ticket than I've done for any candidate. And I've been working the polls since a little kid. You know what I mean? I ain't doing this no more. It's over with. I'm closing the border. That's what I'm voting for. But if there is a candidate, president, which I seriously doubt, that's willing to give us some type of tangibles, reparations, land access, all the other stuff that every other, person that got in reparations, we could get the same thing. So if Jim Crow Joe Biden saying, hey, the only way we're going to get reparations is if the Native Americans get it, well, fuck you, old nigga. You know what I'm saying? Fuck you, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what happened moving forward. Putin could bomb everything except for us. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't never had no problem with no damn Russians. Keep it fucking real. But we fought in every war. We just brought that up. Farmers, we the original sharecroppers around here. Why we ain't getting the money to actually get this type of farms and everything going? Go ahead, Sister Tyler Perry. You was requested. You know what I mean?
I just want to speak to one thing that FBA Empress said, which is that, we don't.
People, because I'm gonna have to shut this down. But I'll be back later after I finish with my daughter.
Hey. With that being said, Vader, let Tyra Perry speak real quick.
Yes.
Hey, I just came back in the room. I heard my name. I didn't hear everything, so I raised my hand. What's going on?
Go ahead, FBA Empress.
Hey, Angela.
Well, I was just wondering, Tara, if you were listening to the room, like, we're talking about just weaponizing the Freedmen vote and how we could use it to our favor. I've heard some of the things that you said. I just want to know what you think about the space and if you had a plan or a strategy that was different than what we're talking about today.
You said you heard some things I said. What did you hear that I've said?
Well, I've heard you say disparaging things about Marcel.
You heard me say disparaging things about Marcel. What did I say?
Just in general about just agreeing with him with he's like no tangibles, no vote, which I mean, I know you want us to vote. I just want to know
you haven't heard me say disparaging things about Marcel. That's why I asked, what did I say? Because I did not.
Okay. I can't remember every detail, but my main question is, what do you think about this space? What do you think about what Sister Reparations is saying? Reparations is saying, and how we can weaponize our vote. And your platform that you're running on, like, tell us, educate the people on what you're running on, what you think the plan should be to weaponize our vote.
Well, I've said in the space multiple times that my vote is not. Or not even just my vote, right? It's about us organizing our vote. So whatever our strategy is, if we're doing a protest vote, if we're voting blue, if we're voting red, right? There has to be organization. There has to be scrutiny of the candidates. There has to be scrutiny of the policies. And then there has to be an agreement. But there has to be organizing for that to happen, for people to be in agreement, for people to have conversation, and for people to decide in which way we're doing it. But it cannot happen with just a few people who are going to do it, right? It has to be local organizing in your areas, in your state, on this app. And we have to be in agreement. There has to be political unison for it to be effective. No matter which way we decide to vote, there has to be political unison.
Let me show you how easy this is. Everybody in the room that's for reparations, show me some kind of emoji.
Okay, guys, I'm going to shave off that last 20 minutes because it got very crazy. And I don't do crazy. I just do making the case for reparations and the weaponization of our vote and socializing our suffering. That last 20 minutes doesn't need to be in memorial. I had enough. With that being said, family, I thank you guys so much for rolling with your sister. I thank you for your beautiful exchange. I had to, terminate. I had to block a person that was getting on my nerves. I don't take too kindly to my room being in one direction. If you want to push your narrative, start your own channel. That's what you can do. If you want, I'm looking for folks that want to roll with me and roll with my Freedmen voter strategy, or at least listen to me make the case. Maybe if they listen to me make the case, they will roll with my strategy. But if you just coming up in my piece being an agent of chaos and confusion, you will be blocked. Because guess who pays for this space? Me and my tribe. I don't have to deal with your agenda. Go and create your own. Everybody can go and be about their thing in their own way, on their own thing. It won't go down over here. I got a one-track mind. American Freedmen reparations and the weaponization of this vote to bring the Democrats to their knees for several election cycles. Not for benign neglect of American freedmen, for intentional neglect of American freedmen. Y'all need to throw that word benign in the garbage can. This is very intentional. And so my foot is on the gas till times get better for American freedmen. If you don't believe in voting, that's on you. Go start your own channel. I don't believe the Democrats nor the Republicans worked this hard if our vote didn't matter. And so y'all can sit up here and be politically lazy, not y'all in my chat. Y'all rolling with your sister hard. It's late on the East Coast and y'all are in the building. It's 11:30, 12:31. It's 2:30 on the East Coast, and I see some East Coast up in this piece. Shout out to the East Coast. Rolling with your sister till the wheels fall off. So yes, I'm just the little engine that could. Yes, there are folks with far bigger platforms than mine, but my comrades have been telling me to keep speaking about my Freedmen voter strategy, that my message needs to go far and wide, and I am just planting that mustard seed of faith that this will work. I may not always see it, but I know folks are talking and they on fire about the Freedmen voter strategy, and it's the only way. So I thank y'all that have agreed with me and are going to get out here with the backbone of our ancestors and find out who the America First, who are the closed border candidates in your neck of the woods, and you intend to get out here and hold your nose and do what you got to do to close these borders. Y'all think y'all want to no tangibles, no vote. That is a crock of crap. That means I'm too politically lazy to strategize. So I'm just going to stay home and allow immigrants who seek to replace us and Crayola white supremacists who hate us to decide the fate of our lineage. Well, you got me all the way mixed up, boo-boo. I'm not buying into suppressing my own damn vote when the Democrats and the Republicans have been trying to do so since we died for the vote. Our ancestors were executed for this right to vote. So everybody is free to believe what they want to believe and the way they see it on their own platform. If I see you up in this chat going in opposition of what I'm pushing, you will be blocked. And I just want to thank y'all so much. It's been so rich spending the night with you. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I'm coming back around 6 o'clock with a live part 2 of what I couldn't get through today because my car was acting crazy on my child. I had to race in the streets to go and make sure she was okay. And I'm so proud of her. She just got her license and she kept her calm, cool head. And she found a parking space to pull into where she was out of harm's way. I just love our beautiful, brilliant American freedmen minds. How we think and how we teach our children is so important. So proud of her. That might seem small to y'all, but it was a big deal for me. She just got her license around her 18th birthday in July. So she's a new driver, and she made me proud tonight the way she handled the car cutting up. Ain't that always the case? The car is scheduled to be serviced tomorrow, and it's acted up. I got to call AAA in the morning and get down there to the Nissan dealer downtown and get this thing handled. Lord have mercy. Ain't it always the Freedman life happening all over the place all the time? Well, with that being said, family, let me close us out proper. I got a book ended with my favorite way to go out, which is the closing of my broadcast brought to us by ETM Media Group, specifically Umoya. That brother's just so talented. We just got so much talent amongst us, family. But I want to take us out proper. Lord, is this thing going to act right? Let's see. There we go. So I want to share with you, family. Let me pray us out. I hope you can hear me. That the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever free Freedmen and its allies are. God truly is, because family, you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. I don't care what they say about you. You are amazing, incredible, fantabulous to me. And until tomorrow, family, I want you to make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your evening. Know that I love you oh so black and oh so strong. Yes, I do. Until tomorrow, family, peace, love, and reparations. I'm out.